Bro, he didn't even do the most basic research. Dude, what was he doing with all his time, bro? It takes him, like, what, a month to make a video? He's making a video a month, and he can't even spend 5 minutes to go and look to see if whether or not someone found someone. And he just says it in the video. What an insane thing to do, bro.
I mean, come on, man. Yeah, I can't...
Oh, dude, I didn't catch that bit. That's rough.
I mean, it's like this is a witch hunt, is it not? It's like a total witch hunt.
Disavow Hitler. I'm gonna say this. Hitler, stand back and stand by. Gawk, 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 gawk. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Wait, come on. Okay, stop.
In reality, you're a delusional, hateful hypocrite, and this is the worst video I've ever seen.
And today's video is brought to you by Common Sense, which unfortunately isn't so common anymore. We're also bringing you a side sponsor as well, known as objectivity, research, and bringing things up in good faith. This is something that the subject to today's video absolutely lacks. So if you're interested in Common Sense, go to www.thisisagoddamnjoke.com/SOG. All right, I'm sure somebody's going to buy that goddamn domain. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I was called out a few days ago by a YouTuber known as In Praise of Shadows, okay? A channel that covers horror history, reviews, and retrospectives. And while this was something that was a little bit unexpected, this is not a channel I've really seen. I've seen one of his videos pop up in a feed, never really watched it because I don't really watch horror movie retrospectives. If you think what I watch is, this is the kind of content that I look up, okay? Look up any old game from the 90s, space, type in retrospective. Find the longest video you can and just...
Okay, listen. Where's the meat and potatoes here, okay? Where's the meat? Where's the meat on the bone? Come on, here we go. He starts talking about it here.
Go back to our buddy Praise of Shadows. He made this video about conservative horror movies. And while this video is 2 hours and 45 minutes, it used to be an hour more, where it contained an entire hit piece on our buddy Wendigoon, primarily, but also I got strays, Oombaville got strays, Brandon got strays, Turkey Tom got strays, pretty much everyone got strays. This man delivered a bad faith representation, and it's time to actually debunk why it was bad faith. Now I'm going to play one snippet from this video where he actually talks about Appalachia in a very wild sense, a area of the United States that covers about 18 actual states, okay? So let's actually listen to this banger.
Deep Appalachia is very white country, and for the most part, is exceptionally racist. Genuinely in this part of the country, you have to assume that any white person you meet is racist unless they show you otherwise.
Don't worry, buddy, I'm sure you're one of the good white guys out there. But this is one of those statements that I kind of wanted to talk about because honestly, it kind of paints a perspective for what this person's, like, you know, view of the world really is. Now, I'm sure that obviously there is definitely racism in some deep parts of the United States. That's not a shocking...
Bro, I totally forgot, dude. It's funny. I remember him being... There's so much crazy stuff that he said. I actually, you know, didn't really take in everything to think of it like that. But, dude, that is such an insane statement, bro. Then white boys be racist. It is being white, okay? It is literally the only race that exists because of some sort of historic analysis where you can just make these, you know, broad fucking brush statements about people. It's fucking insane. Why would someone be racist just because they're fucking white? Okay? Here's a shock. Black people can be racist too. I'm not even talking about the cracker shit. Okay? Black people can be racist towards like Asians and shit like that, you know. Black people can be racist to the races that lefties actually care about. Like Asian people or whatever, you know. There's nothing innate of being white that makes you racist, okay? Being racist is rooted in, you know, a long fucking process of beliefs being impugned upon you for different fucking areas, right? Your upbringing, stuff like that. No one's born racist. Certainly not because of your skin color. Race realism only applies to whites. Yeah. And also, here's the other problem too, is you might, you know, his point or whatever might be like, well, it's Appalachia or whatever. And it's like, but that's such a broad area. What, you're saying that every single white person has had the same experience that lives there? No, of course not. Like, there's going to be racist people, non-racist people, and everything in between. Mental. Judge people not by the color of their skin, by the content of their character, right? Am I right? Okay.
thing for many people to consume. But to broadly paint nearly every white guy living out there really serves as a statement to further separate society. I guess maybe the equivalent statement could be like, hey, look, all those Indian guys in Toronto, yeah, 99% of those dudes are racist. Trust me, you really gotta dig through the Indians in Toronto to find the non-racist ones. I really feel like if anybody said that statement, it would immediately be they would immediately get destroyed out there, even regardless of whatever lived experience people have had. Now, obviously, this is a broad statement, and it's not done in the best faith possible. And this kind of a statement from this creator actually paints how he views creators of similar, areas. So Wendigoon being from that region, being with the race that he is, it starts to paint a seed in the actual user's head. When in reality, nobody should be making statements like this, and it honestly serves more as a divisive tool than some—
Oh, wait a second, sorry. I just realized I didn't do super chats, did I? I said I would, before we get into their stuff. Okay. Sliggins, 5 gifted, thank you. Coma with the $5. Thank you. The drama industrial complex works at such a fast pace, not even a penchant for short stack goblins sticks for long. He should have ignored it. Yes, precisely. By this time next month, no, within a week, there's something else that's happened. Well, in fact, okay, I'll tell you what it is, right? The Recator drama massively overwhelmed this. And if it had just issued out a response and moved on, right, the Recator stuff would have swept all this away anyway. But because he's kept fucking coping and seething about it, it's led to more responses and more fucking focus and more attention. Why didn't he just... The Recator drama was a perfect thing to come along to clear up the bad news that he had. Thanks for the super chats. And Russ Cole with the $10. It's like my dad used to always tell me, laugh and the whole world laughs with you. Cry and I'll give you something to cry about, Poozy. Okay, thank you for the $10. Appreciate that. And then we have, with a 333 tip, an Austrian painter. I think Wendigoon needs to release a video about this guy, show him just how much the internet can really hate. It's official. Wendigoon White Boy Summer. This man out of internet existence. Clap them cheeks. Okay. I do hear that there is going to be a White Boy Summer, which is something I'm looking forward to.
Something that brings us together. So when our comrade makes this exact segment where he talks about, people...
Yo, it's Doomakuma! Doomakuma is I believe, a ChudLogic Twitch viewer, from what I understand, so... Yeah, we support Doomakuma here.
Who are going to react to his exact segment, which is basically what he wanted, picking the whole fight. This is what he actually had to say. Watch this one.
Then let's see how they react to this video's existence, because I am certain they will be very level-headed about all of this.
Yeah, so far we have been pretty level-headed about this, okay? A lot of this whole discussion is debunking things rationally, okay? Instead of screaming over a microphone, yelling at each other, that's what piss babies do, okay? Let's actually debunk this and discuss this like actual grown adults. So, what is his reaction to, like, Wendigoon suddenly following him as he's, like, researching this hit piece? And I say research very lightly, which we'll get into.
Midst of this going on, a very funny thing happened, and that Wendigoon followed me on Twitter. I was not following him at the time. He never publicly told people to stop calling me a friend. He never once reached out to me privately, but he did follow me. Which means, in my eyes, that he 100% knew what was happening, because I did tweet about it several times.
I don't know if you guys are like this with your accounts. I remember when I first started and I got followed by like a big creator. It was like, oh, it's exciting. It was new and fresh and exciting. But after a while, that feeling goes. And it's just, people follow you, unfollow you, whatever. It's just kind of the way it goes, But like, to be a creator of his length, being this analytical about why someone is following you. I mean, you just don't think about it, Especially after a few years. The most you might think is, oh, okay, that person's following me. That's kind of cool. And that's it. That's it. You don't think anything more of it than that. Even if, like, someone that you would perceive as a political enemy follows you, you might have a moment of, like, oh, I wonder... You might be, like, more so like, I wonder why they're following me. That's a bit weird. But that's it. That's all you'd think about it, at absolute most. But this guy has come up. I followed Chud, but not on social media based. I thought I saw you behind me when I went to get my coffee. Popping out from behind a fucking, I don't know, probably shouldn't say a shop because you'll probably track me down and triangulate my position. But yeah, why would you think this deeply about it? It is literally like a fucking couple of seconds thing and then you go on about your day. But this guy was sat there, thinking deeply about why Wendigoon had followed him. And I'm pretty sure that Wendigoon followed him because I think this guy had said something about Wendigoon, if I recall correctly. It wasn't completely unprompted. I think he was tweeting about him, I think he quote tweeted him. I think it was a lot simpler. It was probably just this, right? It was Wendigoon saw the guy was talking shit, followed him to see if he'd say anything else, and that was probably it. That was probably the long and the short of it, you know? But this guy's come up with this whole schizoid fucking theory as to why he's following him. Well, it's probably just, oh, he's talking shit about me. Maybe he'll say some more shit. Let's see. God, dude. Oh, this guy's lost it. This guy's lost the plot, dude.
And then followed me to let me know that he knew, and that he was watching, and that he intended to do nothing to stop it. Why else would he follow me in that exact moment?
Oh yeah, that totally makes perfect logical sense. Following you is a move of intimidation. Now, obviously, one of the principal allegations over
Wendigoon said he liked the guy's vid, so he followed. Oh, okay, that's interesting. See, that sounds even less troublesome, right? Because it's not even that he's talking shit. It's just he liked his videos and wanted to see what he's got to say. Wow, isn't it shocking? I guess that's probably quite shocking to those kinds of people, that you can have different political views, but still like the output that you're doing and still like the work that you do. It doesn't have to be that you agree politically for you to appreciate someone's video. In fact, right, this is stream title wrong. Is it? No, it's not. Anyway. In fact, it's like, okay, obviously, you can sometimes watch someone's videos and get a bit of a read on where they are politically, okay? But often, you'll watch a YouTube video and you don't even think about what their political persuasion is. You just watch and enjoy the video and leave it at that, right? Like, but this guy's so partisan, it's so absurd that you might have followed him because maybe he just likes his content, even though you disagree politically. Fucking hell. This guy's so lost. Fuck me.
Here is this person received what they claim to be some hateful words, and a lot of that was being linked to when.
Hello? Am I? Test? No, I'm not. You're fucking around.
Wendigoon's community or whatever. And here's the thing. You can't really link anybody to a certain community like that because what people post on the internet is entirely of their own volition. And that's where it comes down to. You know, to be somebody on the internet, you are going to receive any form of, like, harassment in general. It's not something that I condone or support, but it's just something that happens to everybody in reality. To pin and blame somebody for the actions of a totally, different person on the internet is a little bit childish, and it's something that, honestly, I feel is being used way too much. As somebody that also receives harassment over the internet as well too, and maybe it's just easier for me too, maybe it's just different, but honestly blocking, muting, or trying to not engage with these people really helps it die down. But again, that's just my experience, and I'd rather just throw that into the situation. Again, it's just blatantly putting the blame on Wendigoon when it really should be put onto the individual making disgusting threats or disgusting pieces, or saying disgusting things to you in general. That's not really Wendigoon's fault, that's just unfortunately an asshole on the internet. So in regarding me,
it's just, this is such a common theme amongst these lefties, this moaning about individuals doing an individual thing of their own accord. And also, how do we even know they're Wendigoon fans? This is such a simple concept that people don't seem to understand, okay? It's so easy and straightforward. You, as a creator, can be talking to someone else as a creator. That then brings more attention to you. And that means that people that are neither part of your community, nor the other creators' community, pay notice to you and start trying to do shit on you, right? Great example of this with this particular guy is Kiwi Farms, okay? So Kiwi Farms took note of what happened, and they're not linked to any particular community that I would kind of point to, right? They're Kiwi farmers, right? And now they're trying to dox it, which obviously I disavow and don't like. Doxing bad. But it's like, yeah, like that's obviously, someone's being a shitter, but who is that? That's a random person that's watching and happens to have seen because you've drawn attention to yourself and now they're wanting to find out where you live. Dude, it's so bad. I really don't like doxing, okay? Doxing is bad. But dude, it's just that's not anyone's community. That's a random fucking person walking along and just wants to chuck some peanuts at you. From your doorstep. Okay. I don't know what the address is. I've not looked at that. Okay. I don't know, dude. Sometimes you look on there and there's like a spoiler thing and you click on it and it's like, oh yeah. That's someone's mother's Facebook. That's what that is. And you're just like, what? So bad, man. Like, I wouldn't want it to happen to me. Obviously, okay? I don't think it should happen to anyone. I'm consistent with this. But, you know, that's just what some people like to do with their spare time. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, he ends up actually saying this.
He is friends with Oompaville, a gun-obsessed content creator that has taken advantage of Nikado Avocado's mental decline.
Bro, they have made content together, okay? To specifically pick, you know, Oompaville for making videos about Nikocado Avocado, it's insane, all right? At the same camp, you could say that pretty much anybody in the commentary space, Moist Critical, me,
Yeah. I think that's true, yeah. I think that is probably true. I think some people... I think if Kiwi Farms like a creator like Wendigoon, I don't have like a big issue with him because he's just a kind of regular dude. I think that really angers them and makes it a lot worse, you know? Wendigoon isn't even beyond criticism. You could easily find stuff that you could, you know, talk about with Wendigoon, but it's just the most retarded, stupid criticism, most of which is just guilt by association to people that aren't even nearly as right-wing or whatever as Wendigoon is. It's stupid.
Anybody has taken advantage of Nikocado Avocado. Nikocado Avocado is a very, very, very intelligent content creator. They know exactly what they are doing, okay? At the end of the day, there is no taking advantage of. And on this point, Nikocado Avocado, again, is a grown adult that can choose to make content with whoever they want to. To understand, when both these parties get together and make content, they understand that it is mutually beneficial for each other. So it's so weird that, like, now we've got this almost like fake faux outrage and this weird moral panic, when in reality, these are two adults that decided to produce content with each other. What do you mean take advantage of this individual? You simply work together, make content, and both of you make money out of it. It is as simple as it comes out to. Why are we not allowed to actually make content with people because this individual perceives them to be incapable of deciding for themselves who they want to make content with?
Yeah, I didn't know much about the actual content of the video that he was being critical of with Nikocado Avocado, but yeah, I mean, creators make content together. What is it? Because Nikocado Avocado, whatever his name is a you know, gluttonous individual who does the eating shit. It just seems like such a fucking stupid criticism. Creators make content together. Oompa paid him. What's the fucking problem then? That's very standard. How is it taking advantage of him? I will pay you money for being in my video. Yes, thank you. Let's do that. Oh, you're taking advantage of him. You shouldn't do that.
This is such a weird actual take to have, and I don't understand why they decided to go down this road, other than trying to pretend they care for this Nikocado fellow, when in reality the situation is about as cut and dry, as adult-oriented as one could expect.
For fame and for money. And on top of that, has made content with the human trafficker, Andrew Tate.
So what about plenty of, like, news organizations that have actually brought him on and actually had interviews with him? Are they also responsible? Are you going to throw the actual idea of platforming and propagating alleged human trafficking in this situation? And I say alleged because the court cases are still ongoing. One of the weird things about the internet is basically just making statements of actual fact before things are supposed to be actual fact, okay? If you follow the legal system and you follow situations like this, it's one of the things that me, Oompa, and plenty of, like, Nux and everyone on our podcast pretty much gets flack for when regards to this Andrew Tate subject. When we say alleged, it's because it is still alleged. Dog, we are waiting. Obviously, I have my own personal beliefs.
This is a bit of a tangent as well with this, right? But have you seen that the Tate brothers are, like, pushing Trump as a Matrix attack? And there's a lot of comments about, oh, guy, yeah, oh, this Matrix attack, on Trump. Well, you know, remember this when our prison thing comes in. Remember this when our decision comes in. It's like they're preloading it so that when their decision comes in, perhaps in a way that they're guilty, they could be like, you see, Matrix attack, just like Trump. Am I right, MAGA-tards, eh? Am I right, Trumpers? It's the Matrix, again.
I don't think Andrew's a squeaky clean individual, but being objective is actually being objective, okay? And it's saying things as they are, right? And of course, if Oompaville's guilty for it, have you ever actually watched the content that he makes and the discussions we have about this character on the podcast? The more and more we actually research on him, and research by reading through actual court documentations, other court cases that aren't in the public eye, we start to develop our own negative perception of this individual based on actual stuff that we have researched, not a Twitter, like, quote that we've read online, like some people have.
He is friends with Mutahar, who argued against Andrew Tate being
right. Anyway, I don't know if I'm going to watch the whole video because mainly I just wanted to see how Mutahar responded to his criticisms. And I want to see the Brandon Buckingham one though. Because the thing is with the Brandon Buckingham video, he actually goes over the entire video and I didn't do that. So I was lazy. Well, it's difficult to go over a whole thing live that's 3 hours long, but anyway.
From social media websites, and has recently showcased a great deal of transphobia in his most recent video.
Oh boy, that thumbnail's never gonna leave me! I'll tell you what, that's the best $120 I must have ever spent. You know, the same thumbnail that's basically made a caricature right here of that character Keffels that I actually ended up covering. Now, looking at this image over here, it is in fact just a disheveled...
Oh my god, dude! What Zane thinks Oompa did to Nikocado, Queen did to Nikocado. Oh, yeah. Thank you for the 333, appreciate it. God, there's probably a few people that got that reference. Anyone get that reference? Anyway, I mean, yeah. I mean, this is the source image, right? Do you know what? One thing I'm glad with this is that Mutahar stood his guns on this. It would have been so easy to just fold and be like, oh, well, you know, yeah, I didn't know he's a big bad Kiwi farmer.
How do I make money off depressed people?
The Matrix forced blow up my nose and forced me to put on my baldo.
Thank you for the 333. Credit to where it's due. To me, thanks. Okay, Styler, well done. Anyway, yeah, I mean, you could have used the Kiwi farm as an excuse, but he never came back, did he? Just a Worm never came back. I think he just disappeared forever. I was reading a bit more about that from when I last spoke about it, and basically, I think that Just a Worm, the reason he left the Kiwi farms is because he just wanted to do his doodles. He wanted to do his drawings, and he didn't want to be weighed down by having had this, like, you know, kind of... Some of the stuff he said was pretty wild. I mean, it's Kiwi farms, for fuck's sake. But, you know, he didn't want to have that kind of drag him down. So I think he kind of wanted a clean break. But apparently, he's like a sort of centre-lefty guy. He's not even like a far-right kind of crazy person. You know, he's just a lefty guy, a centre-lefty guy that doesn't like Keffels. And then said, who has seen the posts? Who's seen his posts? Ooh, they are quite interesting. I think it's one of those situations, a bit like 4chan, where because there's anonymity and because it is the kind of environment where it's more, you can say more so what you want. You know, it's, yeah, I don't know. People just say crazy shit, don't they? You know, people just say crazy shit when they think they can fucking have a bit of anonymity. It is what it is. He was venting. He was venting. Yeah, exactly. He shouldn't have said it if he didn't want it brought up. I mean, I guess he never realized that he was going to try and, you know, make it as a artist on Twitter working with commentary people. So he probably was cut loose. He was cut and loose back then, you know. I don't know. It was the posts are obviously pretty crazy, bit rich for my blood, but I just don't care. I'm like, okay, so he said some edgelord shit on fucking Kiwi farms, you know. So yeah. Anyway, the point is, I think that I think it's good. I think it's good that he's not. Mutahar's kind of stood strong on this and kept the thumbnail as it is and stuff like that. Because now when people try and criticize him too, it's the weakest shit. Oh, it's a transphobic thumbnail when it's just a ugly caricature.
Greasy individual, okay? And people have questioned, you know, why is this the only art that I've actually commissioned? I never really commissioned anything in the past. I decided to do it because of a recommendation from other creators and a quick turnaround time. I probably would have commissioned art for this goober in the video, but I honestly just didn't have the time to. But the other reality of it is, too, is like, even the person that I was talking about used this person's art. So clearly they didn't care about that artist's attachment to actual sites that they consider to be bad. Because if that was the case, if their principles were there, they would never have used that art in the first place. Insane stuff to understand and talk about. So again, I press this individual on the idea of like, where is the transphobia that I was showcasing? Where is it? Is it in the room with us? Where is it? And again, that was a response over here. I was like, you know, back that claim up? What about painting me as a Tate fan when I clearly aren't? And in fact, this person's only response to this was, Mutahar, your art was transphobic. I have nothing else to say to that. You know, you could actually apply some basic level of research and probably dig through just a quick little crumb and say the artist that I used made posts on that actual Kiwi Farms website and probably would have used that against me, even though I've already discussed this. See, this is the problem with this kind of stuff. Even their owns don't have any form of research to assist in their own. And of course, this is one of those things where he's like, I have argued against like deplatforming Tate. Now, I want to kind of address this because it is a point that kind of sticks around.
Kevel says, I'm gonna... Okay. Just a Worm says, funny thing about trans. Stylo. You're just transphobic, bro. You're just transphobic. I got a film recommendation for you, okay? Tariq Nasheed, buck breaking. I think that's right up your fucking street, to be honest. In fact, you know, I'm probably gonna watch it at some point and kick. But yeah, I think that is still kind of your kind of jam, to be honest. I think you just sit there just nodding the whole time at it, going, "Yep, this is true. They are buck breaking the blacks into being trans. That is happening." Anyway, look, whether or not, okay, what he said was funny. It was pretty. God, I can't even. I would be worried about showing them on screen because of how egregious they are. Okay, from like a TOS perspective, it was pretty strong stuff. All right, it was pretty wild. He was definitely cutting loose. He was definitely enjoying the anonymity and freedom that Kiwi Farms offers. There's no two ways about that. But I just think, like, I agree with the idea that, like, okay, well, if he's getting doxxed or people are trying to come for his job or something like that, you know, maybe wants to take a step back. I get that. But beyond that, I just think, yeah, you've kind of just got to say, yeah, I did say a bunch of shit. Like, I do agree with the principle. Like, you did say it. You said the thing, right? So when it comes up, you've kind of got to own it. I mean, with time, that can dissipate maybe. If it was years and years ago, it might be a different story. But we're talking like a year ago, he was saying a bunch of stuff. And it's like, you got to stand up for that a bit and be like, yeah, I did say those things. And either say, it was a joke, or I agree with that, and I think that, or I don't agree with that anymore. Whatever your fucking, you know, situation is. You have to stand on business. Yeah, exactly.
This was the actual post that I'd made, I want to say in 2022, where I said, banning Andrew Tate is dumb, ideas should be challenged, and if he spreads misinformation, it should be countered in the public sphere. I really think, and maybe this is idealistic of me, but I really do believe that when talking about, you know, individuals on the internet, whether they be Tate, whether they be Sneeko, whether they be all these...
Maybe I forgot this bit too. So this guy included this tweet in the video to demonstrate that Mutahar likes Andrew Tate? Or is like an Andrew Tate defender? These leftoids are principleless freaks who don't give two fucks about anything. And it's literally, if it's my side, good, your side, bad, or vice versa, depending on what we're talking about, right? This is a principled position. This is, you know, I do not agree with what you say, but I'll defend to your death the right to say it, Take. Like, I remember when I was growing up, okay, right? My household was more of like a liberal perspective. It was more like, you know, 90s lib, not current day lib, you know? But it was more, you know, for the time kind of progressive, I guess you could say. And that was a phrase and a mentality that I heard a lot when I was growing up, you know? That idea and that concept, you know, in my house, in discourse, in public media and stuff like that, you know? The idea that we shouldn't just fucking cut people off for having an opinion you don't like. You should let it be said and respond to it. You know, the old school kind of principle of free speech. And that's all that's being stated here. But now apparently that means you're defending the person. The whole point is just saying you don't like the person, but you think they should speak anyway, because that's what fucking the concept of free speech should be about.
Characters, deplatforming, I think, always strengthens.
What is the quote you always say about taking freedom? When I'm in control... When I'm in power, when you're in power, I ask for freedom because that is according to your principles. When I'm in power, I take away your freedom because that is according to my principles. That's it, more or less, okay? It's that, exactly. That was said by Shai Hulud, I believe, in Dune.
Strengthens a lot of their core base into thinking maybe they were right all along, maybe the establishment wants to...
Oh yes, weak. Yeah, sorry. You get it anyway. You know what I'm trying to say.
Shut them down. These people use euphemisms like the Matrix and whatnot to basically say that there are people oppressing them, when in reality they just have really shitty ideas that in the grand scheme of things, when you actually are countering them, like Charlie's made videos on Sneeko, I've made videos on Sneeko where we've collectively shat on the individual. Charlie taught him how to use guns, I taught Sneeko how to shift gears in a manual transmission.
By the way, guys, I've switched TTS back on, so yeah, you know. Say your insults. Sling your insults at me. Good luck.
Vehicle, and of course, plenty of other people have laughed at individuals, especially people like Tate. I really think that discussing these things instead of outright banning might actually be for the better. Now, obviously, this is a topic that's really brought up for debate, and it's one of those things that is a gross mischaracterization of where my stance is. This guy has basically glazed me up to be a fan when I'm going to do one thing that this guy doesn't do in all of his videos, it seems, is actually research. So this is my YouTube channel, and you see this little search button right over here? You click that, You type in the words Andrew Tate, all right, real quick, hit enter, and whoa, look at that, boys. I got a few big videos. They're not small. 1.9 million views, 750,000. Of course, this one right here, 27 minutes long.
Andrew, yeah, I mean, that is pretty crazy that you can just literally look at his YouTube channel and the second option you get is clearly a video critical of Andrew Tate. Bro, he didn't even do the most basic research. Dude, what was he doing with all his time, bro? Dude, he says it takes him, like, what, a month to make a video? What is he doing in that fucking month? That's like, a month is working 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. It's like roughly 200 hours of man time. Man hours, sorry. Bro, what is he doing? He's got 200 hours. What? How can you not look up quickly, oh, this person seemed to say something about Andrew Tate that makes me think he might like him. I better, you know, and just leave it at that and not even look. Digging in the gulag. It's man time, baby.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
You are a normal individual and not at all autistic. Pwned.
Thank you for the 420. I just don't get it because I stream, you know, I'm not trying to, listen, I'm not trying to make out like I'm some overworked whatever. I just, you know, but I stream 8 hours a day, normally spend about an hour before stream, sometimes 2, maybe, normally about an hour, just like pulling stuff together, getting some links, you know, like for example, you know, yesterday I spent time just pulling together all the stuff I needed to show, a few things here, a few things there. Today I made sure I had all the Netherim stuff in order. I made sure I had all this in order. You know, like just little things like that, right? Just making sure it's all together and ready to present, so it's easy to access what I need. And then I stream 8 hours a day, right? So that's like, you know, what, 45, 50 hours a week, something like that. I don't know. That's just normal to me. That's just like, yeah, that's what you should do, right? That's like a fairly standard amount of time to put into something that is making you a decent living, right? So I'm like, what, like, if I'm doing that and I'm just a fucking shitter on the internet, okay, what are these people doing when they're doing edited fucking research videos? Like, what, surely, what, you're not sitting down and you've got 8 hours in front of you. Like, do you understand how much you can achieve in 8 hours if you are free of, like, if you're actually focused on a task? Like, there's so much that you can fucking do in 8 hours. And my only guess is that these people are either half-arsing it and dedicating time to something, but then kind of fucking around, right? Okay? And are like, oh, you know, okay, at work, you're either focused and fucking strap the fuck in and working, or you're kind of like, ugh, half-arsing it, maybe fucking around, looking at your emails, whatever, right? Like, there's different modes of thought that you're in when you're working, yeah? I think it's probably the latter, and they probably got their fucking Discord open, right? And they're probably fucking around, talking to their mates, talking in a Discord and stuff like that. You know, not really putting much effort and time into something. Because if you were strapped the fuck in 8 hours of fucking hard graft, putting together a script, a video, editing, something like that, there's an absolute fucking mountain of shit that you could do in 8 hours a day. So it's either that they're half-arsing it and not actually putting effort into their working day, or alternatively, they think that because you're a content creator, you can slack off and do like a part-time job and get a full-time fucking wage, which I think only really happens. I don't even know if it happens at the top end. I think the people at the top end, right? Unless you're like exceptionally lucky or something, or you've got a team of people that you can pay, you are going to be grafting and you are going to be doing, you know, 40, 50 hours a week, possibly more, if you're doing like editing. Like, that's just the nature of the beast. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. That's what this involves. If you don't like that and you want a steady wage for a set amount of hours a week and that's that, go and work a normal fucking job. But even then, if you're putting in minimal effort here, you're going to have to put in more effort to a job and the rewards are probably going to be lesser because it's just a regular job. Dude, I fucking hate these people so much. These work-shy freaks. These work-shy freak retards that don't put any fucking effort in and then complain when they don't get the results of that. And then the output of their work is simple factual errors that a second of research would rectify. You could find out in fucking 30 seconds flat whether or not fucking, you know, Mutahar is a Andrew Tate's down or not. He literally showed us in 30 seconds you could find that out, right? Where's the research? What are you doing with your time? God, I just can't stand it, man. I hate these fucking workshop freaks and don't do anything and they complain they don't get the results and then the output is shit.
Who look into one specific case that really paints Tapes and a lot of his friends as actual proper scumbags. Yeah, I take shit from every side, okay? Whether it's the most left-leaning or the rightoids or whatever. And it's literally because for actual objectivity, we do look through actual cases and information and come to a logical conclusion. A lot of the videos on my channel in this fashion is me presenting actual...
Turkey Tom makes weekly high-effort main channel videos, almost daily second channel videos, and streams, and he never complains. I think Turkey Tom... I think Turkey Tom working on his own would probably not be able to sustain that level of workload. But that's the point, isn't it? Is he probably did do that on his own for a while. And it's only, I think, however long ago that he then started to pay people to be able to produce more content and get more videos out there, right? Exactly. I mean, I can't edit, so I had to, I have to offload that onto DK because I can't fucking do that shit.
Okay, that's wonderful. But
I mean, that's what you do. You offload stuff to people who've got the talent or skill or ability if you don't want to do it.
They answer that it is not worth their time because they are Nazis.
They give the $5. I mean, well, I don't know if they... Well, maybe they would say that. But anyway, yeah, I mean, that's fine. But then if you say something wrong about a Nazi in your perspective and you get a bunch of shit, I mean, well, yeah, of course. You probably would get shit if you said... Oh, I don't fucking know. Anyway, come on. I want to get to the other video too. I just wanted to see what else he's got to say.
Actual evidence, and a lot of the conclusion is something that comes up for the average person. And I believe I present cases in such a way and in such a fashion that people usually come to what I believe is the more right conclusion, which is that these people are scumbags. When discussing characters like Sneeko with 1.5 million views, objectively breaking down this guy's stupid thoughts and brain-dead logic in 31 minutes, I think does more than just simply saying this person's bad, because all they have to do is quote tweet you and shit on you, and their side wins, your side. Nobody actually learns anything, okay? Whereas I make videos in a fashion where these people usually will not watch my entire video on their channel or even attempt to at all, because if their audience could see their contradictions and hypocrisy happen live in front of them, then they would immediately be clowned on. That's how you produce videos and how you make, I guess, quote unquote, a hit piece in this situation. Something that this individual failed to actually do. So I wanted to address these things and talk about them. But where it gets really dangerous is when this person actually makes a really, really serious claim against another creator that has been on the show. A creator that some of you might know as Brandon Buckingham.
He's friends with...
Okay, I want to see this bit as well. And then I think we'll look at the Brandon
Buckingham, a gun YouTuber who has been accused of threatening...
So this is a situation where it's so actually hilarious, right? He says that Brandon Buckingham is a gun tuber, which is so far from the course. The only thing that I've seen Brandon talk about with guns is when he went out to the ranch with Brandon Herrera and Donut Operator, the actual accusation of accused of threatening rape.
I didn't really... Yeah, so the point I'm trying to make is, you do what you can by yourself, okay? And then when you can afford to, you start to explore paying people to alleviate your workload so that you can focus on what you want to do and they can do the thing that they are paid to do and is their fucking their profession, right? And that's clearly what Turkey Tom has done. As his channel has grown, he's managed to... I mean, it's like any fucking business, you start to grow and you want to do more when you've got so much that you can do yourself, so you start to offload to... The reality of it is, Embracer Shadows is a terrible business person. Okay? He's a terrible business person because he's another fucking leftoid that doesn't recognize that to exist in society, even if you've got criticisms of capitalism and you don't like the system, you must operate effectively within it. Otherwise, what's the fucking point? You might as well just redact yourself. Right? He doesn't take sponsorships. Why? Why? Why are you not, as a creator, especially if you're short on cash, not taking sponsorships? Okay? I am taking a Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship next month. Okay? Now, I don't even really need the money. Okay? It's not like I'm sat here thinking, I need to take a sponsorship to make ends meet, right? I'm taking it because I'll take the excess cash that comes out of it and tuck it away in my little savings accounts or wherever I put it, right? Whatever it is, to fucking save my house, right? I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll have a bit of extra cash. Why not? Right? Who fucking cares, bro? It's 2024. Literally no one gives a shit. Okay? I could fucking do a Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship and I could spend every single penny of it on cocaine and I don't think anyone would fucking care. I'm not going to do that, to be clear, just to be accurate and honest, but I just don't think anyone would fucking care. No one fucking cares about sponsorships anymore. It's funny. It's like a joke. It's like a joke now, isn't it? Everyone has a laugh about it, you know? It's funny when you see a creator shilling something that you know they're being paid to shill and they're not really into it. I think it's a fun it's like a funny thing. But these people are like, no, I can't take a sponsorship. Why? Who cares? Fucking hell, dude. Get the money, get your bag. Especially if your channel is struggling. Especially if you need the money. There's no reason you shouldn't be taking a sponsorship. Okay? As an influencer, as a social media person, okay, what you've got that is of value is your audience. Okay? You've built an audience and you are selling that audience to an advertiser for a period of time for money. That's just basic fucking business transactions. And these people are totally resistant to it, even when their channel's in the fucking toilet. It's crazy. Why? You can be selective. You don't have to take every single fucking sponsorship that you get offered. If you don't like, if you've got certain ethical considerations, you can implement that. You know, you don't want to do a gambling sponsorship or whatever it is. But fuck me, dude. Or alcohol sponsorship or something. But fucking hell, dude. Like, sort yourself out, bro. I don't know, it's crazy to me. Like, if you're working a regular job and your boss was like, oh, there's a little bit of extra work we need, but we'll give you an extra $500 if you do it, or whatever the fucking amount is, would you say no? Like, if it was easy to implement within your existing workload and it wouldn't make that much difference to what you're doing, would you really turn that down? I don't know, you'd probably be like, yeah, sure, I'd take an extra $500 or whatever it is. I mean, you know, obviously, sponsorships tend to be a bit more lucrative than that. But the point is if you're getting offered a bit more money and what you have to do isn't that dramatic, that's a no-brainer. That's an easy yes, right? I don't know, man. It's just... I just hate it. I can't stand it. It's like wasted opportunity to me, you know? I hate to see someone build up something and then just squander it by not making the right decisions for like the financial benefit of themselves and their channel. It's crazy. It's like a form of self-destruction, you know? But yeah, I don't know. Oh, true. What if the sponsor company turns out later as a conservative? Good point.
Is actually something that I talked about in my video in regards to Brandon Buckingham and Sneeko. Now, while Sneeko...
Well, some people can care about other things. That's fine. But you don't get to fucking moan about not making money when your focus is caring about other things, okay? Yeah, obviously, if you're going to be a finicky fucking creator and you're not going to take sponsorships and you only want to do one video a month and you want it to be fucking artistically minded, right? You're going to have to make sacrifices somewhere. The sacrifices are going to be that YouTube... Like, what these people want... These people want to just sit there, conceptualize a video, and it immediately be put onto YouTube, and then they want the CEO of YouTube to come around and suck their cock whilst handing them a check for $5,000. Right? They don't want to put the graft in, they don't want to put the effort in, and they want to do it in their own way, not play by the rules of the system that exist, and then complain when the output isn't fucking good. For them. Of course not. You're not fucking doing it the way that the system is set up to operate on. Do you not want that? Isn't the CEO of YouTube an Indian guy? I'll give that a miss. But no, I like streaming. I like doing this. I enjoy it, you know? Sometimes it's a bit like, you know, you wake up, you roll out of bed. You roll out of bed at 11 a.m. No, I'm just kidding. I actually get up quite early most days. But no, some days you're like, oh, okay. Got to slap on a fake smile and pile through this shit one more time. But generally speaking, it's good. I like doing this. But but then I recognize if I did half of the hours that I do now, I'd probably get half the reward. And that's just the way it works, isn't it? You don't do as much, you don't put as much in, you don't get as much out. Your emotional batteries belong to us. True. You look exhausted. I'm not exhausted. I'm a bit tired, I guess. I don't know. Aren't we all? Hey? Blob confirmed. Anyway.
Likes to take it to the streets and whip his little Glock around thinking that he's hard. Anytime YouTubers actually want to challenge Sneeko to a fight, for instance, like Brandon Buckingham, who fits his weight class exactly, actually matches his viewership and popularity, would absolutely, I would bet money on Brandon winning, could challenge him to a fight. Sneeko decides to back out and make jokes at home. But one thing that's interesting is Sneeko, without any form of critical thought, is also somebody that spreads around false allegations. Sneeko showcases a message sent to him by Brandon Buckingham. So obviously, to clarify, Sneeko has not signed to box. He has refused to fight because I'm on his dick. Okay, what a pitiful excuse. Your main channel...
Oh my god.
Henry
you guys today are super generous. Thank you.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
But how do I make money?
Thank you.
Depressed people?
Thank you for the memberships. Actually, Henry just got a membership. I'm pretty sure there was a Henry Resilient video I'd meant to have a look at, but I forgot. Big fan of Henry Resilient on this channel. Friend of the show. Thank you very much for the memberships. Appreciate it. Very generous.
...was literally dying, and you desperately cling to this alpha male red pill persona that is completely fabricated. I used to rock with and support this dude, but on God, it's fuck him from now on. I'll be in NYC in July, Nico. Come watch me lick shots on your busted girl. Whole gang is gonna run the train on her like she asked us to last time I was in town. I know you love controversy and beef. How do you like this pressure? Now, of course, anybody could read that and just say, bro, the boys and I are going to come gangbang your girl. Obviously, when he's saying shit like she asked us to last time I was in town, his joke implies explicit consent at this point. Now, of course, Sneeko decides to be so butthurt about this, he actually spreads really harmful false allegations. Listen closely.
Yo, you know who's an L-Mans? Brandon Buckingham.
Oh, yeah.
That guy sucks. I'm gonna... Bro, literally said, I'm gonna R-word your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Literally said... Dude, it's worse than I remembered. What the fuck, bro? Literally said, I'm going to rape your girlfriend. He never literally said that at all. Where was he? You know that meme where he's like speaking to all the people and he's like, thanks, X, Y, and Z. You've given me a lot to think about. Where was he in that process here? Because this comes across as not something that the red pill people would be on board with, right? Only Chud can do that. Dude, what do you mean? I'm not good. Listen, can we... Okay.
Literally said that. This dude said he is going to R-word my girlfriend. Bro, nothing warrants saying I'm going to R-word your girlfriend.
Now again, one look at our buddy Praise of Shadows probably enlightens you to understand that this guy might be ideologically opposed to Sneeko in general, but not ideologically opposed to take a false actual representation, a bad faith representation, and promote that as it was actual reality, dude. I mean, come on now. That is without a doubt. This took 5 minutes of fucking research, okay? Even when I was doing it, it took like 5 minutes to get those clips together. Find the fucking contradiction and laugh at it. So
yeah, I mean, you know, dude, this honestly, it is annoying. It is a bit annoying sometimes because I try and be factual about stuff, and as you can see, I do look for stuff, and I do think, okay, well, this is what's happening. Here's this tweet. Oh, someone is saying this happened. What's the video show? And I try and look at it and be factual. And you know, there's this kind of maligning that happens of like, you're just a drama channel or something like that, right? Where it's like, no, well, I am a drama channel, but like, it's a dismissive way where it's like, no, actually, I don't think I've ever had a situation where I've got something dramatically wrong, you know, to the point where I've had to be like, okay, I said something really fucked up about this person. Obviously, I've said some mean shit or, you know, said something that I turned out to be wrong on down the line because something changed or some new information came to light. But yeah, I don't know. I would hate to. I get this feeling of dread of thinking about that I've said something totally fucking wrong. You know, Chud is fair, but do you know what I mean? I'm not trying to suck myself off, but I'm just pointing out that it's like it's not hard. It's not a difficult thing to do to go and look for information and figure out what the fuck is going on. And, you know, if it was presented to me that Brandon Buckingham had threatened to rape someone, right? I didn't know anything about it. I would never dream. I would never fucking dream of just saying that in a fucking video. I would be like, whoa, that sounds insane. What's the context of that? What happened? Where can I find this, you know? Oh, Sneeko is saying this. He's not showing any real proof of that, though. Oh. The comment here, he's not saying that. Do you know what I mean? And it's for a process you recognize, okay, well, actually, the person... It's not difficult. Anyone can fucking do it, okay? You don't have to be particularly smart to figure out that someone can say something that isn't fucking true, and you need to go and find out what the actual facts are, right? But people like this fucking... God, it makes me more annoyed at this fucking IPoS guy. He's sat there doing fuck all. He's making a video a month and he can't even spend 5 minutes to go and look to see if whether or not someone threatened to rape someone. And he just says it in the video. What an insane thing to do, bro. This guy should get fucking sued. This dude should get fucking sued into the ground. He should be destroyed for this. Financially and legally only. Bro, it's crazy. That you wouldn't even do the most cursory research. You know, it's not... And there's little errors that you can make, which, you know, whatever, okay, like maybe you misstate or misremember something. But a rape threat.
Have the best journalistic integrity.
Thank you for the $5. True, Edward Nigma. He lied knowingly. Okay. Yeah, maybe. What, you think he just thought, oh, I've heard this and I'll put it in? What? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe he's just a complete liar. He's not acting very honestly. Maybe I'm being too nice. Maybe I'm being too fair this time. I don't know.
Again, one of the things looking further into it is obviously, you know, this person clearly has had a bad time on YouTube. So I want to just bring up the ultimate contradiction. He's represented me, Wendigoon, Brandon in bad faith amongst plenty of people. So I'm going to look at what this person actually had to deal with on the internet himself. And 47 minutes into his bad conservative horror movies was this.
I'm not schizoing. How do you hear the rape threat and not know Sneeko said it? Because I conceive of reading some sort of like, I don't know, some Redditor say it and probably taking that as fact. I don't know. I could imagine there's probably a post somewhere on YouTube Drama that claims that Brandon Buckingham made a fucking rape threat and just took that as a, oh yeah, well, a Redditor said it. So these people know about the drama, they must know or something. Anyway. But yeah. Him not doing... The thing is, it doesn't matter. The thing is as well, whether he's malicious or not, the end result is still you falsely accuse someone of issuing a rape threat, which is a crazy thing to do.
Goddamn line drop.
I normally have a rule for myself of refusing to engage in purposefully combative comments, but this one made me really mad. And I said back to them, I can assure you that I have never done that. That accusation is disgusting to me, and putting those words in my mouth is in extremely bad faith. To which she said, I wouldn't make that accusation if it wasn't something you have done. Either way, you sadly became full of...
Right, anyway, speaking of Brandon, I really wanted to see his response because I think he had probably the most righteous fury at the whole situation. It's just a shameful thing to get falsely accused of having issued a rape threat. I mean, what the fuck, dude? Right, let's go, come on.
Just look at it. Just look at it. Yeah, well, what the heck is that?
We got a fun one today, guys. A real doozy. We're going to be covering the hit piece In Praise of Shadows made on Wendigoon, and later in the video we're going to hear from Oompaville and even Wendigoon himself. So buckle up, cuz. In this video, I will be addressing remarks made about me by a YouTuber called In Praise of Shadows.
Wait a second.
Here's what he said.
This dude actually goes outside. What the fuck is going on here? What's this? What's that in the background? What is that, guys? Hey, what's going on there? What is this? What is this material? What is this material here on the ground? This is amazing to me. Are those footprints? Oh my goodness! And this fluid that is kind of lapping in at this material. What is going on there?
He is friends with Brandon Buckingham, a gun YouTuber who has been accused of threatening... What?
A gun YouTuber? I'm sure some of you guys are confused right now, so let me break it down for you. In a desperate attempt to make the YouTuber Wendigoon look bad for being friends with me, this overweight loser described me as a gun YouTuber who's been accused of threatening... Mind you, I've made one single video about gun YouTubers, and this guy chose a photo of my grandpa after his brain injury to spread the false accusation.
Wait, actually... Okay,
and this guy chose a photo of my grandpa after his...
That is a fair... I hadn't even noticed that before. That is an insane thing to do. Like, look, I'm very much of the opinion, if you put something on the internet, you know, people can use it. People will use it, right? So I don't have a problem with someone using your content that you put up. But to use this image as the backdrop for you saying this is fucking insane. What an insane thing to do. It's like so tasteless. Yeah, exactly. Why? Why would you use this image? It's like such an unnecessary, unforced error. It's like unhinged. Yeah, exactly. It's so wild. Why would you choose this of all things? Why not just have an image of the guy? On purpose? Oh, okay. What, you think it's like an attempt to be edgy? Is he trying to be safe edgy? Oh, is that what it is? Maybe he's trying to do the high, you know, oh yeah, look at this, your picture of your fucking grandfather in a bad way when you're saying a rape threat. Oh, I'm so edgy. Is that what it is, maybe? Because it's got Wendigoon in the replies. Yeah, but I'm sure there's other tweets that Wendigoon has replied, right? Yeah, I don't know. Just a very odd choice. I mean, okay. The way I put it is this. This guy, if he wants to do that, he can do that because it's on the internet and you're free to use what someone has put up as your, you know, whatever. I think he's so soft and he's done this, right? To do this when you're such a soft sack of shit is crazy.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Because you're going to get shit on, aren't you?
Money
hey! Oh my god!
Maintain our close personal friendship.
Not Mika with the $50. Holy shit! Thank you for the super chat. That is so generous of you. Thank you. Appreciate that. God, you guys are extremely generous though. Thank you. Thank you, Miku. Appreciate that. He was clueless about the implication. Really? What? So someone's put a picture of what it says it there. Poor Port's home hot frost recovering. How can you not know the implication there? I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Like, this is the kind of thing a troll would do. This is the kind of thing a fucking edgelord guy would do to fucking wind you up and shit on you, right? But then, when the fucking tide is turned, all of a sudden you're soft and you can't handle it. But you're pulling antics like this in the video. Anyway.
Brain injury to spread the false accusations that Sneeko made up about me. And
yes, exactly. He cried about people calling him an S-slur on Twitter. Exactly.
The wildest thing is, this guy spends a large portion of his video talking about how false accusations have essentially ruined his life, which makes it even more egregious that he spread this lie about me. Like the good guy he is, Wendigoon came to my defense in the comment section, which I sincerely appreciate. Love you, brother. But this self-righteous breadtuber really thinks that if you're friends with Internet Historian, Donut Operator, Shoe on Head, Oompaville, Mudahar, Garand Thumb, Turkey Tom, Brandon Herrera, or myself, then you are a bad person. Meaning, he probably thinks if you're watching this right now and are a fan of me, you are also a bad person. It's really compelling stuff. It's really profound stuff. So I figured I'd give him the time of day and watch his entire...
I mean, the thing is with that list of people is they're like a completely disparate group politically and ideologically, okay? Some of them are more political on the left or the right. Others got like maybe more liberal views, but are kind of apolitical in their content. Like, there's no through line of connection between those people, right? Like, what is the... There's nothing there. There's meat on the bone. He's just randomly picked a bunch of people that are controversial to soys and is using that against Wendigoon. It's crazy.
3.5 hour video and address his points directly. And although he edited out the last 25% of his video, which is the most psychotic, I, as a big fan of his artistic work, already had it downloaded. So without further ado, let's get into this soy bullshit crap slop nonsense. This guy starts off his video complaining about a convention called Mad Monsters that he attended. First,
well, exactly. Yes, it's a social group, but the social group transcends any common theme that you could point to as being bad, you know. And obviously, even if there's things you could criticize any of those individuals for, everyone's flawed, everyone's made mistakes. Like, there's nothing there that's of substance to say, you know, I don't know, like, it's just such a crazy criticism, right? Anyway,
whining about having to walk down an unpaved road in the cold.
First of all, I arrived at the convention and their small main parking lot was already filled. And they gave me directions to their overflow parking area that upon arrival I realized was well over half a mile away from the event, and that they had arranged no shuttle services whatsoever, meaning that I had to walk down a dirt trail that had large rocks in it in the February cold to get back to their main building.
The rocks hurt my feet when I walk, and the air hurts my face.
I'm not someone to ever actually make a complaint about something like that, but the reality of the situation...
Come on, man. Did anyone ask why he left out Moist Critical? Because Moist Critical is so inoffensive that, I mean, you know, you can't really pin him any which way, can you? Hey guys, Moist Critical here. So I hear this guy called In Praise of Shadows made this video, and was quite critical of some people, but other people are saying that it's a bit unreasonable, and also some of the things he said weren't quite true. So there's that. Anyway, poop up from shithole, assholes, Ricardo's coke nose, bald face. That's about it. See ya. There we go. There's the fucking Moist critical video on this, okay? But yeah, I just think this, you know, which is a bit odd, really, because like, well, I think Mutar normally is quite down the line with stuff, you know, but with the Kevil's video, that was obviously, you know, taking a more kind of like step out to be critical of some lefty soy shit that the leftoids aren't going to like. So I can at least understand, as much as I disagree, why he tried to pin the transphobia thing on. He did not mention critical, but yeah, I just, you know, I just think, yeah, it's, yeah, he's not. He did not mention critical because he did not want to make the same fuck up Mama Max did. Really? Okay.
Situation is that not providing shuttle services to guests who can't walk when you make them park so far away immediately makes you seem totally unprofessional.
Okay, what do you mean you're not someone to ever actually complain about something like that?
$5.
You just did complain about it. Next he goes on to complain about the material of the wristband at the convention.
When I finally got inside to purchase a weekend ticket at the front desk, they tried to put a paper wristband on me. I tried to clarify, saying that I didn't want a day pass, I wanted the weekend pass. And they said that that was the weekend pass. They instead expected me to wear this paper wristband at all times for 3 days straight.
That isn't... excuse me? I ordered the weekend pass and I've got this. You don't understand, sir. That is the weekend pass. Da, da, da. Like, bro, he's saying it so dramatically. It's like such a nothing story. Imagine including this in your video. I wouldn't think twice about this. It's standard. It's cheap. That's why they do it. And this sounds like a fucking cheap con. As in, like, ran on a fucking shoestring. Normally they're coated in some sort of wax type material, so they're water resistant. But also, if it did become disheveled, I'm pretty sure you could go to the front desk and say, "This band is falling off. Can I get a replacement?" And they'd probably just replace it, right? You know, you get cloth based ones as some when it's like a bit more of a robust experience, but I mean, it's such a nothing thing to complain about. The idea that he'd include this in his tale is mental to me. And then obviously the Kevin Spacey stuff, which I've got a lot of takes on.
By the second day, it was falling apart because I had taken a shower and it became very soggy and uncomfortable to wear.
Oh, my soggy wristband. Next he goes on to whine about the convention not having any food.
I didn't eat before I got there the first day and expected to buy a snack at some point while I was there, and was very upset to learn that there was only an alcohol stand in the convention floor, and no food whatsoever. So I didn't end up eating until about 10 p.m. later that night.
Ever heard of a packing a ham sandwich? But apparently there was food. This idiot...
Oh my god, dude. This is quite a funny bit. Jessica Pizzle keeps looking at the AI summary of what chat is saying, and it comes up with some real funny stuff sometimes. Look at this one. People are talking about a video where a YouTuber used an image of a dead man's father to make a point. Some people think the YouTuber was being disrespectful, while others think he was just trying to make a point. Dude, that's crazy. It's actually not, you know, it's not that far off. I mean, it's a bit off, but it's not that far off. I got a bit worried when I saw that. Has anyone... Okay, guys, listen. Obviously, none of us are free of sin. Okay? We've all seen stuff. But I'm getting so sick of on Twitter when you click, like, show more, thinking it's going to be the stuff that's filtered out because of swearing or something, and you just immediately presented with a woman bent over with just a pussy there. And it's just like, you're not expecting it. Like, you're like, whoa! You know, I'm not really here for that. Chud gay confirmed. I'm just for equality, guys. Guys, I'm just for equality. And all I'm asking is, when are they going to start to put some fucking gawk. When are they going to start putting some gawk in these bots? Come on, it's 2024, man. Come on. Come on, dude.
Idiot just couldn't find out where it was.
The next day, I did actually learn that there was a food area for the con set up in the lobby of the hotel next to the convention center, but there were no signs telling you of this, and it was very much hidden.
It's a big conspiracy. They're against you. They're hiding the food from you at the convention. Next, he goes on to sarcastically complain about his hotel's pool being out of commission.
Luckily, the first night after having a late dinner, I could relax in the indoor pool that my hotel was advertised as having, which was just magnificent. Although, I guess I can't blame that on Mad Monster.
And mind you, this video is over 3 hours long, so I can't cover every single stupid thing he says, but I'm just trying to show you guys how big of a victim baby this guy really is. Yeah. Next, he explains how he's upset that a YouTuber named Cody Leach went to the convention and didn't criticize it enough for having Kevin Spacey as the main attraction.
In his 33 minutes of talking about the convention...
that was such a... I obviously am very invested in the Kevin Spacey stuff, having covered it a bit recently, and the idea that you'd be so upset that someone didn't say Kevin Spacey bad enough. Who cares, bro? What the fuck, dude? Get over it, okay? Listen, Kevin Spacey, right, liked a little bit of the old, okay? Yes, it was a little bit much at times. Yes, he did a bit of misconduct, okay? Well, what do you expect? He's a homosexual.
And everything that happened around it. Leach fails to mention Kevin Spacey outside of a single joke about the situation over 20 minutes into the video.
Also,
not only that,
the other thing as well with this, I didn't even say this last time, right? But how do I make he's never been convicted. Never been convicted of a crime. Mental.
Tomorrow you have to bust out the bisexual lighting and the trans flag in the background. The bad dragon dildos on the window ledges.
Okay.
Dress the set and happy pride.
Oh no! It's... Oh, fuck, dude. You just reminded me. It's Pride tomorrow. We've got a whole month of it. Oh my god, dude. Hopefully there's some good discourse. Oh my god. I am so ready. I tell you what, guys. I am so ready for a kink at Pride discourse. Okay? I hope that they go hell for leather, excuse the pun, right? Excusing and apologising for literal degen shit going on at Pride. When kids are... I hope they apologise for that to the high heavens so we can have a good time going over it and going insane, okay? Please, give this to... Please, my lord above, give us this one thing. Anyway, the Kevin Spacey thing, I mean, you know, the reason the other guy probably didn't reference it is he is not like into all the hardline politics shit and stuff like that. He probably doesn't want to get into the Kevin Spacey shit. So him like referencing it in a jokey way is enough to be, that's like going, yeah, a bit awkward, like, but I'm not really looking to go into depth about Kevin Spacey. Like, that's totally reasonable. There's someone that's focused on horror, okay, that is talking about horror matters, that's talking about a horror con thing, is not going to want to get into the intricacies of Kevin Spacey in a fucking 30-minute video talking about it. Anyway, guys, I went to this con and it was quite good all in all. But the accused rapist and predator Kevin Spacey was there. For those of you that don't know, Kevin Spacey and just goes to this fucking diatribe about it for 30 minutes. No, of course not. Why would anyone fucking do that, right? It's not his fucking role. People, I'm sure some of his audience probably don't want that. They probably don't want him to go into a diatribe about Kevin Spacey bad, for fuck's sake.
If we look at this footage that I shot, compared to the footage that he shot, you can see that he has clearly framed his angle standing roughly at the exact same spot I was, so as to not show the giant Kevin Spacey banner hanging over the lobby.
When you look at his footage, and you compare it to my footage, he was standing where I was standing, and didn't even get the Kevin Spacey banner in his shot.
And you know, I think that people who are in my line of work have a certain level of responsibility to appropriately cover the things that we choose to talk about.
What responsibility do you have to talk about Kevin Spacey at length? Also, okay, I don't want to get into it. I've already done all this from my other video about this, but Kevin Spacey has never been convicted of a fucking crime, okay? I agree, he engaged in misconduct in his career, particularly on the set of House of Cards, I think there's good, strong case that happened. Doesn't need to be cancelled forever. I think he's more than enough has happened to say that he's suffered for what's happened, and he should be allowed
Picklington became a
to
member.
re-enter as he
Picklington
sees fit
celebrates
into the
5
career,
months
whoever will let
of
him.
membership. With great retardation comes great responsibility.
Thank you for the membership. Appreciate it. He's a sex freak. But what more could you possibly... Also, the other thing as well, these guys... Oh my God, dude. That fucking... I didn't talk like loads about the documentary, really. There was a fucking guy, right, who was like, yeah, I met Kevin Spacey and I thought he'd be good for my career, right? Anyway, we went to watch Saving Private Ryan, and during one of the war scenes, he started jerking off in front of me, and it was really weird. Anyway, next time I met Kevin Spacey... Whoa! Next time you met Kevin Spacey, okay, I appreciate it might be a bit of an awkward moment, right? But if I went to the cinema with some fucking fella, right, I wouldn't care if he could make me a fucking 100k viewer Andy. If he started jerking off in front of me in front of Saving Private Ryan, I'd be like, oh, okay. I'm not really into this, to be honest, dude. Could you put your cock away, please? Would you mind just popping your cock back in your trousers for a second there? And then if he continued on, I'd be like, okay, you clearly want something else here. I'm fucking out of this, okay? You join in. This dude apparently was fucking jerking off in front of Saving Private Ryan. He just sat there like, oh, this is a bit weird, but oh, my career, probably can't do anything about this. Oh, you got a party and you want me to come to your hotel room? Yes, absolutely. And then on top of that as well, Kevin Spacey showed this on his Twitter. This guy allegedly had emailed him after that too. After everything that had happened, he fucking emailed him to communicate with him again later. So either he's a fucking homosexual in denial, or he was so concerned about his career, he was willing to do a fucking fair exchange of leading this guy on and acting like he was interested in a gay way to try and get fucking credit for his career. And every single story...
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Chud, the ultimate fuck you this guy needs is Kevin Spacey to tweet out, "This in praise of Shadow's guy is gayer than I am. Happy Pride."
Very true. Thank you very much for the 333, Mushroom Painter. Every single... Like, look, as I say, misconduct, yeah, he definitely did some inappropriate touching. I wouldn't deny that. But every story of a guy that had a long-term ongoing thing with him, where they claim that Kevin Spacey did some Weinstein-esque shit, right? Every single guy says the following, without fail. Well, I thought this. It was never Kevin Spacey said this to me. It was never Kevin Spacey said, if I suck his dick, he'll help out with his career. It was never Kevin Spacey said he'll get me a movie role if I have sex with him. It was always, I felt like I might get some... You know, it was very clear that they thought that they could hedge their bets, you know, deal with some of the gay shit and maybe get ahead in their fucking career. It's like so transparent that they were a driving force in it, you know? Yeah, exactly. Not Kevin Spacey said. Kevin Spacey did this, right? You know? It's so infuriating. Yeah, trying to take advantage of Kevin's... Yeah, trying to take advantage of a sexually aggressive homosexual for your own career's sake, right? You thought you could, you know, grapple with the cock and not get covered in cum, but you were wrong. Okay? It's good to know you're co-signing Kevin Spacey pulling his cock out and starts jerking off. Perfect normal behavior. Okay, when I just said that if someone did that around me, I would not be permissive of that and I would leave, do you think I was saying that's permissive behavior? Obviously, that's not permissive behavior. Undeniably, Kevin Spacey has acted inappropriately and has engaged in misconduct. Right? I don't deny that. The point I'm making is, he's never raped anyone, right? And some of these guys were willing to tangle with Kevin Spacey's cock in the hope that it might get their career ahead. And that's a decision that they made and continue to make. All right? And the fact that he is still to this day, like he can't even go to a fucking horror-con. He can't even go to a fucking some shitbag horror-con that's like the bottom of the fucking barrel for someone like Kevin Spacey. Not even that is allowed. Not even that is permissible, right? Stop defending rapists. He's never raped anyone and has never been convicted of anything close. He's not been convicted of any crimes, let alone rape or anything. Okay. Anyway. I'm just sick of it.
So in my opinion, making a glowing half-hour-long video about how cool Mad Monster is in the wake of them trying to publicly rehabilitate Spacey's image into a right-wing personality at a convention held in the South, which happened within weeks after he appeared on Tucker Carlson's show, is not a very responsible use of your platform.
Kevin Spacey was last registered as a Democrat and is a homosexual fella, but because he had a conversation with Tucker Carlson, this guy claims that Kevin is a conservative.
The Daily Wire in this time ran a...
The thing is, Kevin Spacey is... The conservatives and the right are the only people that are willing to actually listen to him because they've got such a big issue with cancel culture. Okay? That's the issue. Because even that fucking Dan Wootton guy that you spoke to is also on GB News and would be, you know, ideologically culture war-y kind of right-wing or something like that, right? It's because they're the only people that are going to fucking listen to this dude, right? No one else listens to him. None of the progressives are interested, okay? The progressives have concluded that Kevin Spacey is a giga homo rapist and therefore don't want to hear his story. So, of course, like if only one side of the aisle is willing to give you a fair hearing, why the of course you're going to fucking go in that direction, you know? If that's the case, why doesn't CNN reach out to him? Why doesn't MSNBC reach out to the guy? Why doesn't a fucking lefty or liberal personality reach out to him and see? Right? It's because they don't want to, because they don't want to fucking hear it, because they've already concluded and decided, outside of any court proceedings, that he's guilty of what he's fucking accused of, to the point where he can never fucking work again. God, I hate it when it's like, you know, it's that meme of getting pushed, right? The Blues push someone towards the Reds, and the Reds catch them and go, oh, you all right? And it's like, yeah, I'm fine. And then the Blues go, you're a fucking bad right-winger. It's that meme. You know the one I'm talking about?
A piece defending the convention and their booking of Spacey. And you know, just my opinion here, but no horror event should ever fumble the bag so badly that you get the Nazi news force coming to bat for you.
Oh yeah, you heard that right. The Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro's news station, is the Nazi news force. Anyone who knows literally anything about Ben Shapiro would know that he is a Zionist, which is the opposite of a Nazi. Moving forward, he wraps up chapter 1 of his crybaby magnum opus by whining about how conservatives enjoy horror movies and it should only be a genre for liberals, or some bullshit like that.
And that I think there's actually not one, but two distinct horror communities that do not overlap. One that is more concerned with writing and thinking about how our own experiences and world are reflected through art. A group that overall is less concerned with how much a movie makes at the box office and more with what it is trying to say as a work of art and how it relates to ourselves and culture as people.
Bro, are these people just totally sheltered? They're not... You can go to a movie with someone that's a fucking full-blown neo-Nazi and probably have a great conversation with them afterwards about the fucking What is he on about? Do these people not have friends that aren't completely fucking in line with them politically, dude? Oh, it's unbearable.
And then you have another that is more conservative and traditionally capital A American, and is based more in basic consumerism, and viewing movies strictly as entertainment and nothing else. A group that often gets angry at the very notion of subtext existing within a work of fiction, and views art not as a means to express what it means to exist, but instead that sees the value of creation just within the context of how fun and experience that product is.
This is good stuff. Let's move on to chapter 2 of this incredible video.
I'd like to talk to you about the worst week of my life. So, January of 2022, okay? I made a video about The Hills Have Eyes that went very badly. And I've never really spoken about this or even really addressed that it was a thing, except for maybe just a couple of times on Twitter. I guess when it happened, I just hoped that it would eventually disappear, but it never has.
So in this chapter, this guy moves on to whining about people giving him a hard time on Twitter for shitty takes he had in a previous video.
So this is a brief reanalysis of Wes Craven, The Hills Have Eyes, and the internet's general response to some pretty basic things that I said about him and his work about 2 years ago. In the time since making that video, very often it is the case that when conservatives want to criticize me, they will go back to that and use it as a weapon, by twisting my words in very bad faith to make it look like I said something that I obviously did not intend if you had watched the video.
God, I feel like this is more moaning and complaining about it, right? Just say. If you genuinely feel you were misrepresented, okay, a bunch of I don't know. I mean, obviously you can't say it like this, but like, yeah, a bunch of retards didn't even understand what I was trying to say. Here's the fucking take. Boom, 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 boom. Lay it out simply and fucking move on. That's it. That's all you need to do. You just need to recharacterize. And if then people still don't get it or don't like it, then just fucking keep moving forward. Oh my God, dude. It's so painful to watch someone just not engage with stuff the way that you should. Just... bro, it's way too much.
Usually in an attempt to make me either look crazy or cartoonish or racist, or that I don't know what I'm talking about.
This is pretty ironic, because what he's upset about is what he does to me and nearly a dozen other creators towards the end of this video.
Yes,
literally,
true.
There has not been a single week that has gone by in over 2 years that I didn't have somebody saying something shitty to me about that video. And I don't think that most of them have actually even watched it.
How can this guy complain about jumping to conclusions when he literally boiled my entire existence down to being a gun YouTuber who's been accused of threatening? What? Besides, the video he's talking about is fucking terrible. His video about The Hills Have Eyes essentially said that the victims in that movie deserved to be brutalized because they were colonizers or some dumb shit like that.
Posting that video was a huge...
Okay, I've seen the clip. It's a long video. I don't know if I watched the whole thing. Is that actually an accurate representation of what was said? I need... Okay. I'll take your word for it, chat. I'll take your word for it, because I'm not going to watch the whole thing. Oh. Gogol fan says no. Oh.
Negative turning point in my life, and the way that that one video was received has really impacted everything around me. Before that, I was relatively comfortable financially. I could make the kinds of videos that I wanted to, and have honestly struggled very badly ever since then.
So I think we found the root of this guy's problem here. He's broke and miserable and is enviously lashing out at others for being successful.
If you want to know why
I mean, yeah, true. Very true. I think that's a fair assessment.
Make so many franchise videos now, it's because I still need to eat, and those are the only things that ever gain any traction now. Everything else I do dies as soon as it's released.
So he's making content he doesn't want to make just to pay rent, but he doesn't realize he sounds like a spoiled little baby here because most people on Earth do stuff they don't want to do to make money.
Yes.
For transparency, this...
Yes. God, it is insane. Like, the entitlement is off the charts. As if some dude that's going to work his factory shift for the day, you know, for fucking $15, $20 an hour, is like, oh, I'm so stoked about my shift today. I can't wait to get in and do an honest day's work. Like, yeah, you got to do shit you don't want to do all the time. You're very privileged to be a creator, that you do have some flexibility. But even then, to pay the bills as a full-time creator, you're going to have to do stuff that maybe you're not completely jazzed about, you know? I enjoy covering most stuff, really. But, you know, even within my operation, there's some stuff that, you know, I'm not that interested in necessarily, but I think it would probably be good content for the channel. So I, you know, engage with it regardless, you know? Like what? I mean, there's probably an example today, right? I'm not okay. Right. Okay. This is in my head. Okay. So don't think this is me trying to be. I'm not being privileged or whatever. Okay. But like, there's this Anissa Joma VOD. Okay. That I've got downloaded, and I don't know what the timestamp is. So I'm gonna have to fucking look for it at some point. Maybe on stream today to figure out when the point is I can start watching to find out about it. And I'm just like, oh, I'm not that interested in the story. I'm not that interested in going over what fucking Anissa Joma said. But it's kind of a story that everyone's talking about. And it'll probably be like a good segment for the stream. Maybe not a segment for the channel. Maybe. Do you know what I mean? It's little things like that, you know? It's like, oh, you know. But like, that's it. Like, it's so little. It's nothing. It sounds insane to express it out loud because it's such a nothing issue. But obviously, you know, in your head, that's the way you look at things because you're in that position, you know? But I would never express something that out loud in normal circumstances because it's like, yeah, I'll fucking deal with it. You know, I'll be fine. I'll suck it up. I'll be fine. It'll be a fun segment regardless. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's such a nothing thing. I couldn't imagine stating that out loud. But this guy is making this big thing about having to cover popular stuff. And it's like, well, yeah, of course you've got to cover stuff that people are interested in, you know? Obviously, people are not fucking interested in some, occasionally maybe, but it's less likely someone's going to be interested in some 1970s art house horror movie that no one's ever fucking heard of, right? And they'd probably rather watch a breakdown of whatever modern movie that's hot at the moment, you know? No, it does sound very annoying, to be fair. Well, the thing is, I tried to do it before stream, and I was flicking through it to find out the correct, because I couldn't find it. I couldn't find a timestamp, and it's just like, you know, Nisa's a very boring person when they're not talking about something you're interested in to cover for drama. So it's just skipping through like endless prattle. It's just like, oh, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's a bit annoying, you know. But anyway, that's it. That's the links of it. But yeah, it's just such an absurd complaint that you have to cover something because it's more popular. Of course you do. Yeah, that's the way it works, isn't it? Oh. And then on the flip side as well, you know, like, for example, there's stuff that I'm personally interested in that I think would be interesting for stream, but I recognize that I probably can't really do it for stream because it's too niche or it's too British or it's not really got enough broad interest. So I have to kind of just leave it as a back burner thing or never cover it, you know? Who cares, bro? Like, what does it matter? Like, fucking hell, dude, it's so retarded. Yeah, that's the way the cookie crumbles, bro. You got to cover stuff that's popular. Sometimes you're going to cover stuff that isn't that interesting to you. Or maybe it's a bit of fucking effort to do. Who cares? Stop fucking complaining and make your fucking videos, dude.
This is a graph of my total lifetime views on my channel. And this is the point where I posted The Hills Have Eyes. There is a clear delineation before and after me making that. And at least from my perspective, I'm not really sure if that response was entirely fair or justified. I don't think that as a person I deserve that based on my performance in that one single video. I understand that I am not entitled to your time whatsoever or anything like that. I'm just a guy on the internet. But if you stopped watching me over the public reception to that one work, then I kind of want to talk about that a little bit here. Because there's not an insignificant amount of people who frequently say untrue things about me, and in the long term it has kind of ruined my ability to make a living doing what I want to do with my own work.
If you say insane things, your viewers are going to tune out, man. It sounds like you're taking zero accountability for your self-imposed fall off. My advice is to get a job and make hyper-left schizo shit posts as a hobby.
People got extremely mad at me for recapping the plot of The Hills Have Eyes. Because genuinely, if you go back and watch that video, that is all I am doing.
Wrong. Here's something he's... Just listen to this.
The Hill people can be representative of anything that you want them to be, really. They can be Native Americans, and the hills themselves can be allegorical of them being forced back onto reservations. They can be Black Americans that have for hundreds of years been forced to live within a dehumanizing system that has balances in place that assure that they never get ahead. They can be anyone who has been a victim of hundreds of years of horrifically violent, white, wealthy, educated progress.
Listen, big guy.
That's not just recapping the plot, you're injecting your own political views. And, you know, obviously he went over some of the comments the director had made. I'm sure that he's going to get to it. And it seemed to me like the director was just doing a very kind of standard, you know, who are the true monsters perspective of like, you know, in dealing and contending with a vicious attack from mutant cannibals, do you become the monster somewhat because you then become feral to do what you need to do to survive or something? That seems to be what the director was trying to get across. I haven't seen the movie, but then he made it about this fucking racial-based analysis and like all this modern day, current day Californian bullshit and injecting it into the analysis, you know? But that's my understanding based on what he himself said the director had said.
Guy, people are mad because you said that the inbred cannibals in The Hills Have Eyes are representative of Native Americans and black people. Obviously, you got backlash for being a silly Billy, and that backlash must have deeply impacted you because up next...
Yeah, Heart of Darkness. Savagery can happen to anyone, yeah? People think more of themselves as being civilized, but if you're put in an uncivilized situation, see how long your civilized nature lasts. That seems to be it. Nothing to do with this fucking black Indian thing or whatever that he was trying to say.
You include about 10 minutes straight of mean tweets that people sent to you after you made that stupid video.
I started to receive comments like this. I can't imagine watching this film and coming away with the conclusion that the cannibals are secretly the good guys, and the biggest tragedy is that they didn't eat the people passing through.
He goes on and on and on and on and on, just fucking reading these tweets. He's not even debunking them. And the most annoying part is that he like pauses after some of them to like snarkily laugh as if they aren't bothering him when he already just said they're ruining his fucking life.
I've enjoyed several of your videos, but damn, you seem to be a bit lost in this one. Your stances just seem a bit warped. And why inject politics into a movie anatomy? Social justice? I was rolling my eyes throughout. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, I can't.
Oh, dude, I didn't catch that bit. That's rough. Oh. Oh, look how silly and stupid these people are. Oh, I am so much smarter than these people I'm about to show you. The smug snickler. The smug snicker. Snicker. Smugly. Snickering smugly. Snickering smugly. Snickering smugly.
Can't help but disagree with this video. This might be your worst yet.
That's right, Dumbo. Laugh through the pain. Try to smile it all away.
And I know I'm including a lot of examples in this section, but I'm just trying to communicate exactly how in this situation I said one thing, and then it got misconstrued as another that slowly eroded people's view in my writing and their trust in me, which has made the past 2 years a very dark time in my life.
What are you trying to make the next 2 years of my life a dark time? Because it sounds really similar to Sneeko making up false allegations about me, and then you spreading them for no reason other than to serve your personal vendetta against Wendigoon.
And I won't name names, but the thing that really hit me the hardest is that when I decided to stop reading comments and just tried to distract myself by scrolling on Twitter, and on my For You page, I found a thread of mutuals openly making fun of me for my failure of the video amongst themselves. Just...
No, I didn't see this bit, no. No, not the pals having a laugh at you behind your back. Oops. Do you think it's the people that you named in the video? Oh, man, dude, yeah. Sometimes your peers are going to have a little fucking, you know, I don't know, it's whatever. Who cares, bro? Isn't that a sign as well that you fucked up if there's people that are apparently your peers, you know, also commenting that you fucked up here? Like, that should be a sign, shouldn't it? It was like, lol, this shit is ass, bro. Was he? I don't, yeah, it's like, yeah. Bad take. Bad, yeah. Dude, this is the kind of guy that would be sat on a bus somewhere, right? And out of the corner of his peripheral vision, he would see someone that looks like he glanced at him for a second. And he would go, is that guy looking at me? Is he judging me? Is he judging what I'm wearing? Is he judging my moustache? Bro, no. What are you on about, dude? Calm down. It's not, no one's fucking cares about you in public, okay?
Openly in public. Some of them using words like idiot and stupid.
Aw, man. Honestly, I'm really sorry to hear that. Have you tried being less of a stupid idiot?
They were genuinely just calling me dumb without trying to meet me on my level of what I was trying to say, instead just believing what other people were saying about me. And that was so hurtful that I can't even fully communicate it to you.
This guy's saying got it cut out, has he? This is probably like, it comes across very much like an ego thing as well. Like he probably saw great success and praise for his earlier videos, but then he's made a mistake and he doesn't know how to deal with it because it's been praise, praise, praise so far. And it's like his ego's getting pierced and shattered in a million different places with all this stuff going on. Oh, that's rough.
You gotta meet me on my level, dude. Fuck.
I won't say who they are. I don't want people to get mad at them for this, but I still remember, and to be honest, I will always see those people differently from now on. And if I met them in person, I would never be more than just cordial. I would never be their friend, and I'm usually not like that.
I would never be your friend. If I saw you in public, I'd walk right up to you, and I'd be cordial, not even friendly. Strap in, you guys, because we got a real fucking tough guy on our hands.
And somebody said to me, "Hi, I live in Oklahoma and am a Native American. Go fuck yourself." Like, what do I even do with that? I've never once in my life said something negative about Native Americans.
I think that probably if someone is a Native American and you're saying, oh yeah, these insane mutant cannibals that eat people and murder them and maybe even rape them, they're basically like Native Americans, someone is probably going to interpret it that way and be mad at you. Anyway, yeah, I was watching this movie, and these mutant cannibals that were raping and murdering people, I immediately thought of Native Americans. Why are you getting so upset? What's your problem?
But there are a whole group of people who treat me with open hostility over a perceived belief that I said something awful.
Native Americans don't fuck with you. Loser. And in this artist's defense, he flat out says he shouldn't be criticized for what he said because the art he makes isn't even original.
I said nothing that was either groundbreaking, or new, or outrageous, or even original there.
Yeah, so you're unoriginal and your shit sucks. Cool.
I used to hit 200 to 400,000 views per video, and now I'm hitting 50 to 100,000 most of the time, saying the exact same message that I used to say back then. But now I think with more skill than I used to have, with higher production values.
But look at my production value. Bro, you've been yapping in front of a green screen for an hour with barely any editing. Your production value is non-existent. It's shit. It's trash.
There was a month last year where I only made $500 in ad revenue. I can't live off that. The amount of times that I've almost had to stop making videos since then has been almost monthly. I've barely been able to keep this afloat. I've paid my rent late most months for the past year.
Ha! You broke. What does he think he will accomplish by saying stuff like this? He thinks he's just the sweetest little birthday boy and he's not deserving of any criticism whatsoever. He thinks he deserves success and money and praise, but instead, all he's getting is hate, and he's broke, and he's got this stupid little outfit on. Next we move on to chapter 3, which he named the same as the title of the video, Bad Conservative Movies.
Yeah, it's like, just like, if it really is that bad and you're just gonna have to get a normal job like anyone else. No one is entitled to a career. Obviously, if someone is getting like unfairly maligned and that causes an impact based on lies, that's fucked up, right? I agree with that. And I can understand people being bothered about lies destroying them. But then it's like, you did that to Brandon Buckingham. So, you know, it's not really a point I would make here. But, yeah, beyond that, I mean, if your channel just isn't working and you're on the downturn and you've had success, but now it's going in the other direction, you either nut up, do what you need to do to make fucking money from your channel, or you go, okay, well, I don't want to do that and sacrifice, so I'm going to do this as a hobby and I'm going to get a regular job so that I can, you know, pay for my shit I need to pay for. I don't know, dude. I can't stand it. It really irritates me. Really fucking bothers me when people do this and complain. It's like, bro, you've got the cushtiest fucking, one of the cushtiest jobs going. Just do something. I don't know. And on top of that as well, right? Does he stream? Are you trying to open up new revenue streams? Are you trying anything? Merch, whatever you want to do, but are you trying something other than just making a video? He doesn't stream.
Okay, that's
Why
wonderful.
not?
But how do I make money off depressed people?
To quote Mutaha, don't put all your eggs in one basket. It's lucky to make YouTube your primary job.
Thank you very much for the $10. Well, the thing is, he's putting all his eggs in one basket in terms of only having a revenue stream from YouTube. And then within that basket, he's got a smaller basket, right? And he's putting his eggs in there, and that basket is ad revenue. And that is really the primary thing that he's relying on in terms of the release of his videos. And there's another one with Patreon maybe. But it's like, yeah, you've got to diversify, right? It's just so simple. When you've got 400 subs, and you should be easily making a full-time income, there's plenty of ways you can do it. And you're just not doing any of them because you're a lazy freak. Anyway. Annoying, very annoying.
He begins this chapter by complaining about a low-budget movie because it included 4 AI-generated images inside of it.
And if you really believe and think that this...
Bro, the second thought thing was so shameful, man. He did this... God, he did this video where he spoke about how he'd got this office and had bought all this fancy gear and equipment, right? And was like, yeah, man, I got all this fucking fancy gear now and we spent a bunch of money on it. And it doesn't look cool. And then literally months later, he's there going, yeah, I've got no money. Can you guys give me some money on Patreon, please? It's fucking crazy, dude. I can't bear it. Shocking.
Usage is okay, because everyone was supposedly doing it, then that speaks more on you than anything else, because it shows that you were not listening to artists who were essentially quite vocal about the situation near immediately. There is no other way to look at this that is ethical.
Fucking butt-ass, stupid-ass, dumb-ass.
Of course they had...
He also cuts his audience out by hating conservatives so much and injecting leftist politics. True, that is a thing. Here's another thing, though. Conservatives, as long as you're not overdoing it in terms of your analysis, what's a movie? What's like a horror movie that has got very strong like anti-capitalist themes or something like that? What is it? I can't think of one. Purge. The Purge? Yeah, The Purge is probably a good example, right? The Hunt? Parasite? Yeah, I don't know, something like that. Dawn of the Dead? The Purge. In any case, you know, I think if you're doing contextually appropriate analysis of a text, I don't think that people are going to care. I don't think people are going to look at that and be bothered and be like, oh my God, this guy's talking about anti-capitalist stuff. Or at least you've got strong ground to argue on if people do, right? They just want to see a good analysis or a good breakdown of the movie. They Live, great example. So, you know, fit in your analysis that makes contextual sense within the media that you're reviewing, you know? Don't try and do fucking whack job, crazy bread tube tier analysis, you know? Oh, X is actually a fascist fit propaganda or whatever. Just fucking keep it aligned with what it is. And if you do want to go out there and you do want to have a slightly crazier take, don't be surprised when people react badly and have a negative response to what you're saying. You know, I don't know. It just seems so simple.
The money to pay for real title cards. They just decided not to. What do you think this is? How much do you think art actually costs? To imply that you think they couldn't spare a few hundred on additional art is either purposefully dishonest or is willingly ignorant.
This broke idiot is trying to demean successful people about using AI instead of paying people. Who cares?
Wait, actually, that's a really good point. So this guy has got a self-professed failing business that he's not earning enough money from, right? But then he's criticizing another independent project because they decided to save money in one fashion by having AI art. Yeah, sounds like a good business idea. Sounds like they're, you know, taking advantage of a tool that's available to them to reduce their cost in some way. Good. This sounds like they're doing it right and you're doing it wrong, bro. Maybe you should put a little bit of fucking AI into your fucking work. Also, we saw the images. It's not even like they just plug something into a prompt and put it up. They're probably people that touched it up and made it look as good as it can for the movie. And they just used it to, you know, reduce the bigger workload of having to create something from scratch, you know? Anyway.
This is about love and community. It's about talking with each other and working with each other and making cool shit. The whole reason I'm making this video is because I want people to think about how they talk with each other, and how they engage in art and the world around them, and how to show respect if people have issues with something.
How is this about love? And then next he goes on to give some kind of a warning that conservatives can make good art as well, and people need to be wary of them infiltrating spaces they shouldn't be in, like the horror community.
Trust me when I say that conservatives are perfectly capable, just like anyone else, of being funny and learning how to produce art. Those things are skills that anyone can do. To think otherwise would be hopeful at best, but in practice is dangerous, and allows the slow infiltration of conservative beliefs into places that they should not be allowed, because it creates this shield that allows us to ignore their red flags.
Conservative beliefs are not allowed. Why not? What? What conservative beliefs are we talking about? Are we talking about, like, you know, different opinions on taxation? Are we talking about, the concept of wanting to slaughter a bunch of fucking minorities. I don't know. Like, is that really conservative? Like, conservative is very broad. There's lots of different views you can have of conservative, which are completely reasonable part of society, which should be welcomed for, you know, a difference of opinion to get to the best possible solutions. I just, the broad use of the word conservative is crazy to me. What do you mean conservative? Considering what he thinks about Native Americans, maybe you got that wrong. Yes, true. God, it's just so stupid and pathetic and just so sides-cucked, man.
The idea that conservatives cannot make good art needs to be abandoned, because it leaves us in a position to where we underestimate their potential to spread their messaging.
So this guy essentially hates you if you're a conservative and thinks you shouldn't be allowed to make art. That's awesome. It's very loving.
Horror is a mirror. It is countercultural. It is punk. It is that way, and it always has been.
Yeah, this guy's real punk. He's a fucking punk rocker. He's not a fucking idiot. He's not an idiot. He's not, he's not an idiot. He's punk.
As a queer person, I don't really need the reclamation of gay conversion camps in films and works of horror.
Cool.
The only thing I have of value left to me in this world is my writing and my perspective. And I would never do a single thing that compromised that, even if that meant I occasionally had to do something that was not the most socially nice thing to do.
The only thing you have of value in this world is your writing and your perspective? What about friends, family, the prospect of having children, making more money, hiking, exploring, exercising, owning pets? All you have is your fucking perspective and your writing. You're just sitting in your room writing about shit. That's all you have all day. No wonder you're fucking miserable, dude.
I am always happy when movies do well, but at the same time, the cartoonish reaction that people had on Twitter to Megan making $30 million in its first weekend was a little gross to me. All I heard about was how much it made, and how they cut the violence and blood and kills out of a slasher movie to get it down to a PG-13 rating to make more money, and how that was a good thing that the studio cut up a movie to make it worse because we have to worship the dollar just to see how rich Jason Blum can possibly get.
Didn't you just say earlier that you were making your Anatomy of a Franchise videos not because you enjoyed them, but because you need money, and now you're criticizing movie directors for making movies to make money instead of art or some hipster shit? You don't even make any sense. We finally arrived to chapter 4.
I mean, look, I do see where he's coming from, but it is a very idealistic, I mean, it explains his own fucking perspective and the way he makes his own stuff, right? Yeah, kind of sucks, you know? Kind of sucks that in the theaters you're not going to get the full experience that some directors are going to want because they're having to make concessions for the sake of getting it rated in a certain way to make more money. But then that can be used to fund other movies that maybe are more to your tastes or are more to your situation. And then the idea then is like, okay, so that movie isn't what you want, you don't watch it, but then maybe another movie gets made that is willing to be a bit more risky. Do you know what I mean? And then also, you do get like the director's cut and stuff that comes out after that you can often purchase. So if you really do want the raw experience, it's there for the taking, you know? And it also, I think, creates a niche. I mean, that's like, remember the Saw movies and stuff when that came out? The Saw movies were like very unapologetically like, we're going to be gory and shit. Or what is the other? Hostel. Hostel's another example. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if there... When was the last time we had like a really, like, we're just going to go balls to the wall and slice people up and not care what the rating is? I can't remember, really. But anyway, yeah, sure. I mean, that's just the nature of the movie industry. Bit annoying, worth mentioning, but, dude, I think you're thinking about it a bit too deeply. Also, Serbian film. Yeah, that's probably a good example, right? But the other thing as well is, I think that it doesn't, like, to me, it's like, well, what's the story like? Like, the blood and gore and stuff is fun from time to time, but really it's about the story and the atmosphere and stuff like that that I think matters. You can have a horror movie that isn't necessarily gory, and you can edit out the gore even, but it still is a good story and tale, and it still is scary or whatever, you know? Anyway.
The juiciest part of the entire video that he actually edited out of his YouTube video, presumably out of shame or humiliation because he got shit on so hard for making such terrible accusations towards people.
Here we go. Oh, this is the main event.
If you're not aware, Wendigoon is a horror conspiracy theorist YouTuber with several million subscribers that, as you will hopefully come to see, should not be seen as the wholesome, southern-friendly dad persona that he has publicly constructed around himself in the past several years. And that, like many people who talk about being Christians as much as he does, has a dark past with deep ties to far-right extremism.
So Wendigoon is bad because he's Christian, and Christians have deep ties to far-right extremism. That's great. Let's hear more.
I have no need or desire to hear 5 hours of opinions on Blood Meridian from a 21-year-old millionaire who got famous around the age of 19.
And you think we all have a desire to listen to a broke 20-something-year-old atheist? Why? I don't understand your point as to why your perspective is valid and Wendigoon's isn't.
And I don't know if you can actually really truly be a good cultural critic with a voice that has a definitive perspective without several years of genuine, independent, lived experience away from the home that you were raised in. And in his case, he became exceptionally wealthy by the time that he was 19 or 20. And so if you leave the home and immediately become famous and rich without having to ever actually...
Serbian movie symbolizes the Balkan Wars and what shit up things happened there. Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. So the whole point of it is to be disgusting, but it's making an underlying subtextual point of, yeah, this is the fucked up shit we had to deal with, actually. Some dude getting injected with bull testosterone and fucking his whatever thing.
truly struggle. Can you be considered to have ever actually had lived experience at all that would qualify you to give criticism on works of art about the experience of average and poor people?
So only poor people can have perspective. Am I getting that right? Are you not allowed to have opinions if you're rich? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not seeing come and see,
check
no.
this out. Look at whose Twitter he shows when he talks about Wendigoon having ties to far-right extremist behavior.
To having multiple ties to other far-right extremist figures.
Oh wait, we've got a contradiction here. Serbian, I thought it was about laws in Serbian media censorship were too lax. Okay, indeed. I don't know, you decide amongst yourselves, guys, okay? I've not watched the movie. I've only seen like a YouTube kind of, you know, and they do the breakdown of it and talk about it. But yeah. Dude, that is so insane. There's a scene, oh my god, dude. This guy gets injected with like bull testosterone to make him really horny, okay? I don't even know if that's medically accurate, first of all. But then he goes into a room and there's two people there and he's supposed to fuck them and that, and him and another guy start fucking them. And then it's revealed that it's his wife and his young son there. And then at the end, they end up going home together. Spoiler alert. And you know, the guy ends up he can't take it because it's so fucked up. And he ends up like killing himself and his family with him. And then the director of the movie walks in with these two guys, and the dead bodies are there. And in the final kind of twist or whatever, they're like, start with the boy first. I.e., they're going to go and do, you know what, to these dead bodies. It's so disgusting, man. Oh, fucked up. Anyway, that is about the Balkan issues. So apparently, it's a political movie. Okay.
That's right. He shows my Twitter. Me, Brandon Buckingham, the far-right extremist you guys all know me as.
I'm not talking about anymore.
I've been making content full-time for over 4 years, and it's very obvious all of my content is fueled by far-right extremist behavior. That's good. That's right. It's true. So with that said, you guys can follow me on Twitter at...
I'm cancelling my holiday to Serbia. Well, I'm sure someone in chat is actually probably going to book a holiday to Serbia off the back of what I just said.
Buckingham Show to see all of my extremely far-right takes. After this part, In Praise of Shadows, goes on some diatribe about how Wendigoon claims to have founded the Boogaloo Boys, but he didn't really found the Boogaloo Boys because they were founded a decade before he came into the mix.
With this, I think that Wendigoon does a lot of like, you know, he's obviously bullshitting a little bit, right? He's doing a little bit of fucking bullshit to make things sound, to judge it up a bit, right? Like, I don't think, you know, when he talks about the Boogaloo Boys and stuff, I don't think that he genuinely is responsible for like starting it or something like that, right? Maybe there was something he did which was popularized or something like that. So it's so crazy to hang all of the responsibility and all of the fucking, you know, even to the point where you're linking apparent terrorist attacks to him off the back of the Boogaloo Boys. It's just nuts, dude. It's like schizophrenic insanity. Clearly trying to be the next H1 guy and failing miserably.
But still he's like responsible for dedicating his life to disavowing them and getting rid of them. And then he has this really cool soundbite about Hawaiian shirts.
Toby Fox. Troll. Wendigoon is a right-wing conservative Christian, though. Literally don't care.
That I really enjoy.
Also, it should be noted that the Boogaloo Boys are known for wearing Hawaiian shirts. And guess who else always has on a Hawaiian shirt, despite the fact that he publicly totally does not share in their beliefs, guys.
Hey guys, look at me, I'm in the Boogaloo Boys! This guy is so incredibly petty. And he also goes into how Wendigoon's like a bad guy because he allegedly followed Kyle Rittenhouse on Twitter.
To the belief that he at one point followed many far-right accounts on Twitter, from Kyle Rittenhouse to Parler.
I mean, it's like this is a witch hunt, is it not? It's like a total witch hunt. He's like trying to connect these dots to make him seem like a bad guy. He's desperate to make him seem like a bad guy. For this next part of the video, In Praise of Shadows runs through some of Wendigoon's friends who he views as problematic in an attempt to paint him in a negative light.
Wendigoon is publicly connected to the Internet Historian, and has even appeared in his videos. The Internet Historian publicly said that his birthday was April 20th. It is not, and has only said that as a joke because that is Hitler's birthday.
So being friends with someone who made a joke about their birthday being on 420 makes you a bad person? Got it.
Wendigoon is publicly friends with Donut Operator.
Why? Okay. Do you know what the other mistake that this guy has made in this, right? He's about 4 years too late. Okay? At the absolute, 4, maybe 3 years too late. Because the era of BreadTube is over. Okay? It's done. You can't say things like, oh, we made a joke about Hitler's birthday and get taken seriously anymore. It's over. Right? No one cares anymore. No one is going to care on a broad scale about someone making a Hitler's birthday joke. The pendulum has swung the other way. In fact, these soys better hope and pray that Trump wins, so that when Trump's in the office, maybe the pendulum might swing back the other way and you might be able to complain about someone doing a Hitler's birthday meme. But those days are over, okay? The soys, time in the sun is over. Oh, what is going on? It's the last day of the month, guys. 31st of May, 2024. Wowee! How time flies when you're having fun. Okay. Disavow Hitler. I'm gonna say this. Hitler, stand back and stand by.
And even retweeted a photograph of the two of them hugging. Donut Operator is a gun-crazed, very far-right YouTuber with 4 million subscribers, whose career consists of him reviewing footage of police officers shooting and killing people. He was once a cop himself, before he made more money making YouTube videos and retired. His content is very pro-state, pro-cop, pro-gun, and pro-death to people who don't share his beliefs propaganda.
Donut Operator is not pro-death or some bloodthirsty cop. He's accepting of everyone. I visited him in San Antonio, and Destiny of all people was there, who is a super liberal, and he was welcomed with open arms. The real person who hates others for not sharing their beliefs or propaganda is this guy in Praise of Shadows.
For example, one of his videos is titled, Predator Takes Shotgun...
That's actually a really good point.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Hey! Thank you for the gift of sub to Destiny. Thank you very much. Bull Moose Entrapment. Appreciate that. That's actually a really good point.
Okay, that's
so
wonderful.
This guy is so dismissive.
Chud, I hear you. I will stand back and stand by. Now chat, give him more money.
Thank you for the 333. He is the one. This is such a good point. I didn't think of this before. He is the one that is so dismissive. He is so uninterested in other people. He is the one that is the fucking gatekeeper of people's opinions. But he's trying to paint this guy's out. I imagine that Donut Operator in person is probably like a very normal conservative dude, right? Who might have a disagreement with you, might call you a fucking libtard or whatever. But he'd probably be, like, very welcoming, you know? It's not a good point, because they would think Destiny's a fascist, possibly. But, you know, I think even if you thought that, it doesn't really matter because I get the impression, you can just tell that this guy, I mean, all of these conservatives are like that, right? They're the kinds of people that would argue viciously with you about fucking Biden. But if you were at the house and you needed help, they'd probably see you in and try and do you a good turn. Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of impression that you get. I don't know them, obviously. But yeah, that's the kind of... I mean, that's what... I mean, it's kind of rooted, I think, in an ideological way for a lot of these conservatives, right? It goes beyond just thinking they've got bad politics, but they've got like a fundamental, deep-rooted ideological commitment to like helping people out in need, even if you disagree with someone politically about something, you know? Like, these rightoids get like, they're very charitable, they give money to charity and blah, you know, all this stuff. Like, to paint them all as horrible monsters because you disagree on certain political points. Like, this is why it's so important that you look at, like, the character of someone rather than what their political views are. Or other things, like their skin color or whatever, fucking, whether they're gay, straight, etc. You know, it's about what are they, who are they as a person? Would they do you a good turn or not? That's what matters. You know, are they a good person in their community or whatever? You know, this is going to sound gay, okay? But you genuinely miss out on a lot of, you know, you genuinely miss out on value in your life by excluding people on the basis of arbitrary measures like political stripe, race, whatever, you know? Because it doesn't matter. What matters is who is the person, you know? Anyway, no more being gay.
And features a picture of him smiling in the corner of the thumbnail next to an image of a terrified man about to be executed by cops, with the text that reads, "Head removal."
Donut made a video breaking down the good police work of police who shot and killed a pedophile who pulled out a gun on them. How is that a bad thing? Is this guy pro-pedo, or does he think that people should be allowed to pull guns on police?
He has collaborated with Nick Crowley, who constantly makes money through the most morbid and shameful true crime content, of showcasing the last minute.
Okay, Toby Fox. Dude, this guy is... also nice pro-police content. I mean, look, okay, I don't think this guy's pro-pedo, all right? To be clear, I don't think this guy is cheering on pedos, as far as I can tell. I'm not... that moustache, though. That moustache, all right? But anyway, listen. I just think that, yeah, it's fucking stupid. I mean, at least pick something else, right? At least pick something else, dude. I mean, he fucking... Really? Chud L. Why, for not thinking he's a pedo? He's anti-copies, pro-pedophile. Oh, I don't know, dude. I hate the wood chipper stuff. This is not as bad as the Mama Mac shit, but it's the same ballpark. You know. I just can't really, like, defend this guy on that basis, like, on the same way. Because, like, I don't know, it's like such a fucking stupid error. Like, why? Why say it about that video in particular? I think the other problem as well, mixed in there, is like, I don't even know what that video is. Like, if it's genuinely a guy is being confronted for being a fucking alleged pedo, and then he pulls a gun and gets shot, I mean, yeah, I'm going to be for that. Like, yeah, I very much, what's this? I'm very much a person who, you know, I'm very much a person who thinks engage with the police sensibly and you'll probably get a sensible response, you know? So on all counts, I just, beyond the sort of wood chipper-esque comments, I mean, I'm like, yeah, okay, that seems like a perfectly fine video. If the police have done a decent job, yeah, I mean, why would you fucking have a problem with that? There's probably other things that you could point out if you really had an issue with the way he presents his content. But then also the other thing too is it's like you're judging a book by its cover as well. Because who knows what's in the fucking video? I mean, I'm sure there's a bit of wood chipper-esque memes. I'm sure there's, you know, a bit of cringe conservative virtue signaling or something. I don't know. But it just seems like a really stupid decision that you just open yourself up to people calling you a fucking pedo. Do you know what I mean? Like, dude, pick something else. Why would you make it about the video where pedos getting slaughtered? You're going to get called a pedo defender. Idiot.
Minutes of people before they are suddenly and unexpectedly killed.
Doesn't this guy make money from analyzing horror movies? How does he have a problem with Wendigoon being friends with a guy who makes videos about true crime?
He is publicly friends with Shoe on Head, who is a conservative masquerading as a leftist, who has built a career off of lazy anti-woke content, complaining about SJWs.
So now this guy is telling Shoe on Head she isn't liberal and she is in fact a far-right conservative, and because of that Wendigoon is bad because he said congratulations to her after she got married.
He is friends with Brandon Buckingham, a gun YouTuber who has been accused of threatening...
Did you hear that right? A gun YouTuber accused of threatening what?
He is friends with Oompaville, a gun-obsessed content creator that has taken advantage of Nakado Avocado's mental decline for fame and for money. And on top of that, has made content with the human trafficker, Andrew Tate.
Stay tuned, because we're going to have
Shu isn't a liberal. Oh, he's obviously... Look, he's using liberal in the normie sense, right? Like, if you're on the left, you're a liberal. But yeah, obviously, Sean Head is more like of a socialist, populist type person. But yeah, obviously, to normies, it's all liberal. They're not going to differentiate.
Address these allegations himself in about 10 minutes.
He is friends with Mutahar, who argued against Andrew Tate being deplatformed from social media websites, and has recently showcased a great deal of transphobia in his most recent video.
God, I tell you what. I remember Nick Fuentes got unbanned on Twitter. I think I spoke about this already, but fuck it. I'm going to throw it in because it's relevant again. And all these fucking lefties have got way too comfortable with big tech being the fucking, you know, the jackbooted thugs that do their bidding. Because there was like so much soying out and pointing out all the bad racist things that he said. You know, expecting Twitter to reverse their decision. It's like, you got way too fucking comfortable with this. I am looping, correct. And it's the same sort of thing here, where it's like, oh, you think deplatforming is bad? You're defending... No, not at all. Like, you're just too comfortable presuming that platforms are going to do your progressive bidding. And then with Twitter now, it's like, you know, they're not really along the same lines, and they are willing to give people a second shot and unban people and stuff, you know? Literally sucking off giant corporations. Yes, I'm spiraling. I'm spiraling down to the bottom of my career. So I'm going to be begging for rent money before I know it. That's what's happening.
Mutahar has been very critical of Andrew Tate and hasn't done anything transphobic. He included art from a talented artist named Worm in his thumbnail. I thought it was good to pay artists for their work. Maybe Muta should have used AI.
He has interacted positively with Garant Thumb, who has said, the traditional family should be encouraged and strengthened. I see little to no support from the government or big media. He has said anti-trans statements. He has called people degenerates, and has said that non-traditional sexual interactions are a disgusting, hedonistic lifestyle that is the breakdown of the family unit.
What's wrong with upholding traditional values? If you want to be gay and suck down on an ass or whatever, go right ahead, but you can't expect everyone to celebrate it. You clearly don't celebrate his heterosexual marriage, so why should he celebrate you? But more importantly, how is this an indication that Wendigoon is a bad guy?
Wendigoon is publicly friends with Brandon Herrera, who has made jokes that implied that he was sympathetic with public shooters who killed leftists, and collaborated with Kyle Rittenhouse, who has posted images of himself with an MP40, which is a gun used by the Nazis.
I mean, the thing is like, you know, what did they say? Love the sinner, hate the sin. That's like a principle that some people abide by. And that means that they can hang about with like Dave Rubin on their show. This feels like I'm back in 2017 again. They can go on Dave Rubin's show, even though he's a hedonistic homosexual dude. But, you know, like, still justify that interaction. I don't know, man. Listen, look, I'm not going to sit here and defend righties on the basis that they love gays. I don't know. I think it's so crazy. But the reason I'm saying that is because what behavior have they engaged in that shows that they're the people that we're talking about here, that they're some sort of massive homophobe or something like that, you know? ChudLogic. That is my name. Gok. Yummy. Wait, come on. Okay, no, stop. Stop it now. It's getting out of control. These chaser memes are getting out of hand.
Oh my god, Brandon Herrera shot a gun that Nazis used. No way, I'm soy jacking.
Which again, for someone who is supposedly anti-government, he sure does seem to have a lot of wealthy white friends who actively work to uphold the values of the American empire.
What's wrong with having white friends, you self-hating dork?
Then, of course, there is his username. To the Algonquin people, the Wendigo is a negative spiritual symbol that is to be avoided and whose name is to never even be said out loud or written down. People have for hundreds of years taken the creature and used it for their own means, including Wendigoon in his very name, which is something that indigenous people have been very critical with him now for years. This next thing that I'm trying to argue is not to discredit his feelings regarding to his own personal history. But what I will say is that Americans who are white or partially white in rural areas love to claim a percentage of native heritage for bizarre conservative reasons.
Partially white. Wendigoon is mixed race, part indigenous, right? Is that right? Also, the partially white thing the part white thing is interesting, isn't it? He's doing the one drop meme from the other direction. If you've got a single drop of white fucking heritage in you, you're white now.
Relating to, like, reverence for the land and fascistic nostalgia for a time that never existed and stuff like that. He has attempted to deflect from criticism over the use of the name by saying that his grandfather was Native American, and that he learned these things culturally through him.
So according to this guy, Wendigoon has to reject his Native American heritage. And what the hell is fascistic nostalgia? I'm starting to think this whole video is a cry for help.
Deep Appalachia is very white country, and for the most part, is exceptionally racist. Genuinely in this part of the country, you have to assume that any white person you meet is racist unless they show you otherwise.
This guy actually believes everyone in all white towns should be assumed to be racist solely because of the color of their skin? How backwards is that?
Almost all of these little towns are well over 90% white. But if you were to drive through Maggie Valley, you would find antique stores selling busts of Native American braves, carved wooden eagles, vintage paintings of buffalo, super racist generalizations that idealize the—
What the fuck, you're drinking water kidney stones? No. Can't a guy have a little drink? God, you people are so insane. Fuck me. This is what it must be like to feel A-logged all the time. Drinking water and people are fucking talking about it. No, I know how Chris Chan feels. Fuck me. Chill out, guys. A bit of water. Alright?
The idea of the noble, good kind of Native American. But I can assure you that unless you were on the reservation itself, that actual Native culture has no aspect in the general lives of the people around here, other than the racist trinkets that depict them.
Racist trinkets. Got it.
We aren't sitting around at night talking about the goddamn Mothman and shit. I even came from a poor family, and he didn't.
I'm Liquid Maxine.
And what resulted from some good faith criticism of his youth, and he didn't. And what resulted—
Oh my god. He's calling you a bundle of sticks. What's the problem here? Come on, man. Nah, listen. I cannot bring myself to care about a 4-like tweet. That's crazy. Oh, dude, I just can't. Dude, get over it, bro. Get over it. That's it. There's your answer.
Resulted from some good faith criticism of his use of language was days upon days of people calling me a— If you're a public figure who is being criticized publicly, and the only people who come to your defense are Nazis, then that can only be read as two ways. Either that you're sympathetic to their views, or that you're perfectly fine making money from them, and are comfortable with that ideology being the backbone of your base.
How do I make money off depressed people?
LMFAO, you're drinking water? Got a cobblestone generator there, buddy? Imagine hydrating Lamau.
Thank you, Kidney Stone Gang, for the 333.
This guy's a control freak. He wants to control who you're friends with, who's a fan of your content, what your political ideology is, where you're from. He's a judgmental piece of shit.
Oh, that is
and
funny.
If anyone ever criticized me, and people's reaction to it was to immediately start using hate speech, I would shut that shit down so fast.
Wendigoon has said multiple times he doesn't
wear Hawaiian shirt. What's the difference between gay breadtubers and a microwave? A microwave doesn't brown your meat.
Okay, thank you for the super chat. That sounds a bit homophobic, but thank you.
Want his audience to be mean to anyone on his behalf. What else do you want him to do? Just look at this comment that Wendigoon left on the video. Please, no one harass or comment rude things on my behalf. I do not agree with or condone meanness in any way. If you're here to leave a spiteful remark on my behalf, don't. Nothing good comes from anger. I want to apologize for people saying awful things to you on Twitter. I did not know this was happening and don't stand by that behavior. I followed you because I saw your Slender Man video and enjoyed it. Then saw you...
Bro! It's on Twitter already. Gok. Yummy. Wait, come on. Okay, no. How is it on Twitter already? Dude, that's insane. What is going on? You guys are trying to get me cancelled. Don't you realise how transphobic my audience is? Holy shit.
In my recommended follows. It sounds like you strongly dislike me, and that's okay. But if I've done anything to cause that, I apologize. If I've ever spoken against you without cause or made any joke at your expense, I am sorry. I did not follow you to harass you, but if that contributed in any way, I wish I could take it back. You don't have to like me, but I hope you do feel I have no ill will against you. There is a lot you assumed incorrectly about me, but that's to be expected. I try to keep my life private in what ways I can, and my friends mentioned in the video can take up for themselves. I will only point out that your assertion about Brandon's Buckingham is particularly egregious because the lie regarding a threat was made up by Sneeko when Brandon called him out on his behavior. I know you wouldn't support an internet figure like Sneeko, but you inadvertently did by not checking the source. I've made similar mistakes, most YouTubers have at one point or the other, but harmful allegations spread when people parrot rather than decipher data. I have said things in the past that I do not agree with now, and am learning to better myself daily, and each day find myself more in the wrong. I am sorry for the things I've said to bring hurt or strife onto any person or people. May God forgive me. I hope you're successful. The Slender Man video was great, and I hope you don't find myself or my audience impeding your career. And again, if you're here to leave a mean comment, for me, don't be. Did you guys just hear that? What a psychotic, rude, mean, far-right extremist. You know, I'm starting to think this Wendigoon guy is pretty bad after all.
Right in the midst of this going on, a very funny thing happened, and that Wendigoon followed me on Twitter. I was not following him at the time.
Bit again.
He never publicly told people to stop calling me. He never once reached out to me privately, but he did follow me, which means in my eyes that he 100% knew what was happening because I did tweet about it several times, and then followed me to let me know that he knew, and that he was watching, and that he intended to do nothing to stop it. What other motivation could he have had there to follow me in that specific moment, other than to be a method of quiet and deniable intimidation? What other way could that have been read from my perspective? If you think it was...
Chud, have you seen the gay porn Sneeko did? No! I can't say I have seen the gay porn that Sneeko did. Chud, have you seen Sneeko getting his ass fucked? Dude, no. What are you on about? Or is it the photos? Is it the kind of like, you know, the photos of him or something? This may surprise you, despite the memes and the jokes otherwise. I don't spend my time watching homosexual pornography, no.
Was entirely coincidental, which he may argue it was. Then I've got a sack of magic beans I'd like to sell to you. That was the moment that pushed me over the edge to make this video.
This is early onset schizophrenic levels of thinking, and I genuinely think this guy should seek mental evaluation. I'm not joking.
There are other very public instances from him of transphobia and homophobia. Like when he allegedly said, calling Chris Chan, a man who mutilated his body with a box cutter because 4chan said he was a girl, holds a deep hatred for men and most women, decided to be a girl so that he could hook up with lesbians, and now abused his mom. She is disrespectful to and delegitimizes trans people. Like he, a very publicly straight married Christian cis man, somehow is the authority on what legitimizes a trans person's identity.
So now this dude is both an authority on trans people and is an avid defender of Chris Chan, the mentally ill person who molested his own mom. That's a great take.
We could talk about another...
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not a sex-based gender pronoun... sorry, I'm not a sex-based pronoun user, okay? People? Mike D, thank you for the $10. The reason I don't use sex-based pronouns is because it would scare the gok away. Oh my god, why did I say that? Why did I say that? Anyway, but with Chris Chan, like, is it not true that Chris Chan, like, trans essentially as a meme? You know, is it not true that the whole trans thing for Chris Chan is like a forgery, so to speak? Like, if you called Christian he, him, I wouldn't see that as, you know, a problem, because I'm like, well, not a problem, but I wouldn't be like, you're using sex-based pronoun. Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, that's totally reasonable to look at Christian, know about Christian, and think, yeah, that's a he, him. But then, obviously, this gets into the self-ID shit, and you'd obviously have to be quite high on the self-ID Kool-Aid to argue that you must call Christian she, her. If they admit that about Christian, you'd have to admit it for 90% of them. Oh, come on.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Chud, you're making theses chase eclipse so easy.
Thank you for the $10. Starly, you're just transphobic, dude. I'm telling you.
Another time, where someone made a YouTuber gay sex alignment chart and put...
Yes, there is a thing about this. Incels transmaxing. That is a thing that does exist, okay?
Wendigoon as a sub-bottom, to which he responded to them and said, "What did I do to hurt you?" Which, you know, clearly is a joke, but also the worst kinds of straight guys when they make jokes related to queerness, almost exclusively direct the punchline at femme gays and bottoms, because they view them as lesser than masculine tops.
Okay, but getting fucked in the ass is quite demasculating, isn't it? Demasculating, is that the right word? I don't know. Like, to me, if you're two gay guys, right? Okay, the mincier one is getting fucked in the ass, unless it's a, what is it called, a power bottom? Oh, dude, okay, I've heard this term before. It's one of my areas of like lack of knowledge, actually. So what does a power bottom do? Do they, like, you know, get fucked in the ass, but in a very kind of like strong way? I don't know, what does it mean? How does it work? I'm gonna do it.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money?
Oh, it's Friday night. I think later on I'm going to go to the gay bar and do some in real life research. Of course I know what cruising is. You guys are so precious about this stuff. It's crazy to me. You act like knowing about it or talking about it makes you gay. That makes me think that you're probably gay because you're so terrified of the thought that you hear a whisper of a fucking gay act and you immediately get a completely fucking, you know, unquenchable appetite for gay cock, and you've got to get out there and fuck some. You got to get fucked in the ass by some guy. No, it's funny to talk about. You know, it's just like, oh, that's quite funny, isn't it? Some weird stuff from your sexuality.
How do I make money off depressed people?
Chud, you are wrong. Stylo is not transphobic. He is Chinese, which is worse. Now do the Chinese Tom Zhu pilot impression. Oh, much turbulence.
Thank you very much for the 333. Guys, trust me, okay? It's funny stuff. It doesn't have to be anything beyond that, right? You don't have to worry about sucking a dick if you don't want to. You're probably not going to, right? I really... Listen, if you know gay people in your life, and you've got that kind of, you know, banter, go and ask them for their craziest stories. And I'm telling you, they will say stuff to you if you're straight that you've never fucking heard in your life before.
Okay,
you'll be absolutely amazed and shocked.
How do I make money off depressed people?
Just DM Chud. I'll show you a power bottom.
Oh my god.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money?
Come on now, please. Enough of this. Know what a Mexican standoff is? I know what a Mexican standoff is. Is that in gay terms? Is that three guys jerking each other off? That's my thought process. Anyway.
Someone called a straight man with a wife a sub-bottom, and he replied jokingly, how do you honestly have a problem with that?
Clearly, as we have seen, everything that he does has deep political motivations, and to argue that he's just a horror YouTuber is comical.
You're projecting everything you do has deep political motivations.
And the thing that people kept saying to me in all of this was, why do you even
Also, and this has just come to my head, okay? It's like the same with straight sex acts, right? Okay? You can talk about crazy straight... Well, I guess this could be gay as well, but you can talk about sex acts that don't have to be any sexuality. Like, do you guys know what a hot lunch is? Have you heard about that before? Who knows what a hot lunch is? It's pretty messed up, to be honest. A hot lunch is a, you know, controversial sex act, I guess you could say. Like, did you not talk about this with your mates at school and be like, oh, that's gross and shit like that? Basically, right, the person in recipient of the hot lunch puts cling film over their mouth, okay, and then feces is deposited into the cling film like that, okay. Imagine that's the mouth and that's the cock. You then start fucking the shit in the cling film in the mouth, okay, not too deep, just deep enough that you get, you know, that bit. And then at the moment of ejaculation, okay, you need to pierce the cling film, and then the entire, shall we say, mess enters the mouth, and the recipient tastes both the you-know-what and the cum at the same time. Hence, hot lunch. Okay? You not heard of that before? Yes, it's a thing. You're going to puke. Well, I mean, you know, I'd imagine that, you know, a first-time recipient of a hot lunch might well do the same thing. Sounds pretty gross, doesn't it? But does that mean that, you know, you guys are going to go and do it because I've told you about it? No, it's just a crazy thing to have a laugh about, isn't it, you know?
Money off depressed people.
Chud is right. He didn't have to suck that cock. It was a choice.
Thank you very much for the 333. It's like, do you not used to look up like crazy shit on Urban Dictionary? I've never done... No. Bro, are you crazy? I've never done anything with...
Okay, that's wonderful.
Doo-doo.
How do I make money off depressed people?
Are you fucking serious? I just, you know, I've seen some shit. 2 Girls, 1 Cup. Remember that? The gross out shit. Someone would send you a video and you'd open it and it'd be like, oh, you know, obviously... like a woman with her tits out or something. You're like, oh, what's this? And then it cuts to a girl just munching on a shitty cone. You guys haven't lived. Gross out sites, rotten.com, steak and cheese. You could never use this. The Cleveland Steamer. God, you guys are so precious about it. Listen, it's all right. Let's have a laugh.
Which, if you watch the comments under the video, I guarantee you will happen again. With takes like, oh, he's just a YouTuber. Why does it matter? Or, so what if he's a conservative? Is that a problem? Which, the answer to that is yes.
So, you have a problem with half of the U.S. population for being conservative, yet you maintain you're the moral voice of reason on being accepting and tolerant of others.
Waffle.
In reality, you're a delusional, hateful hypocrite, and this is the worst video I've ever seen.
But the reason that I care is because this does not belong in horror, or anywhere. I care deeply about horror, and everything that he does has demonstrated so far in his career that he should not be welcomed in our spaces, or even, you know, just in public in general.
Got that. Wendigoon should be ostracized from public. Alright, so with me now...
Bro! Someone just on Instagram just said, dude! Why did you send me that? I've just seen Sneako's cock, bro!
Off depressed people.
I didn't need to see Sneako's cock today, and now, thanks to someone that's watching the stream, I just have. The message said, oh, you wanted the Sneako porn, you got it. I thought it was going to be, because I've seen an image of him on the side and you see his ass cheek or something. But no, that was his cock. Okay, thanks. Thanks for letting me know. Journalism, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. I didn't look at that much at it, okay? He's part black, so take from that what you will.
Now is the one and only Wendigoon, and I'd like to ask you directly, man, if you have a message, you know, responding to all this drama that has you at the forefront of it.
Yeah, so the first thing I want to say, well, really the only thing I want to say, which I mentioned in
Here we go.
that
Right,
this
YouTube
comment, is please, please do not harass, be rude, unkind to anyone on my behalf or any behalf. That's not what I stand by. That's not what I stand for. It makes me sad to see people who claim to be my fans, people who support me, go down to their level, so to speak, right? Just attacking someone, being rude or whatever. I like to think I'm better than that, so please don't do that on my behalf. Now, I'm not going to tweet that or post that anywhere, because as of right now, the only people who are aware of this situation from my audience, as far as I know, are people who have maybe seen someone else's video or they've seen a tweet about it or whatever. If I broadcast that, if I'm like, hey, all you hundreds of thousands of people who have never heard...
Obviously, I can't advocate for any sort of thing. And I'm not really into that anyway. But my message is more so stand back and stand by. That's my kind of logic with it.
Of the story. Don't attack this guy. People are going to be upset regardless of what I say, and he's going to get attacked way more than he is now. So that's the only reason I'm not announcing it or. But
yeah, the thing is, like, Wendigoon is clearly just, you know, he's just a fucking regular dude. This narrative they've created where he's some, you know, horrendous racist Christian dude is completely wrong, and you can see that they have to clutch at straws to try and make it stick. There's no meat on the bone of this accusation.
About it anywhere.
Crazy.
I don't want him to be attacked, but please don't attack him.
That's really cruel and evil and far right of you.
Yeah.
I will say.
Of course it is. You know, I'm actually doing like an 8D chess maneuver to make me sound superior. Yeah, that's what. But no, in all seriousness, this guy,
he seems
to hate me a lot, which is fine. Not everyone has to like me. I've kind of racked my brain the past couple days, like, have I ever said anything to this guy? Have I ever been rude to him, said anything about him? And I don't think I have. And I've been a person that's had trouble forgiving other people, or like I've just harbored, you know, hate towards other people in my life. And it's not fun. You know, it's hard on the bones, right? To keep kind of this anger locked up. And it sounds like there's a lot of spitefulness. I'm not sure what I've done. The points he espoused in the video is that, you know, it's because I followed him, because I liked his video. He took us something else. Maybe that's all. Maybe there's more. I don't know. But whatever it is, I'm sorry if I've attributed to that in any way. And regardless, I'm sorry he feels that way. At the end of the day, you know, he has to live with it.
Okay, listen, right? I understand where you're coming from, right? I get that, like, oh yeah, he could be vicious and stuff. I think you're a bit brain broken, to be honest, in that respect, because this guy's clearly just making videos and he's got his personal views and beliefs and stuff. He doesn't want to get into fucking stupid drama, you know, where he's getting into arguments with people and being vindictive and shitting on people and stuff like that, you know? I'm just like, okay, fine. He can do that, you know? He seems quite genuine. I don't think he's, like, lying about this. I think this is probably rooted in his, you know, Christian ethics and morals and virtues and whatever. Like, clearly he takes it seriously, because this, I think, is all to do with that, isn't it? Turn the other cheek, all that shit. I don't know fucking all about it, but do you know what I mean?
More than anyone else, the anger he's got, and just dogpiling on and saying that you don't like him, or you don't like his videos, or you don't like him as a person, whatever.
And also,
but how do I make money off depressed people?
Are people actually calling this guy white? Of course, Edgar, resident alt-right, far-right fascist groiper, right? Of course, he's immediately able to look at someone and go, that person isn't white. They've got a drop of fucking something else in them, and I can tell just by looking at them. Thank you very much for the super chat. Yeah, also, that's another good point too. Put aside your own personal views about this being soft, right? This actually makes the guy look even more schizophrenic. So pragmatically, it's probably a good move as well. Because when he's having this kind of very forgiving aspect to it, it's like, he looks crazier to go at him, you know? Anyway.
Doesn't help. It doesn't help me. It doesn't help him. It doesn't help resolve the situation. It just makes people dig
Look at his
further
eye shape and
into
nose,
the trench lines they're already at. So, again, please don't. And to him directly, I'm sorry, you know, for this perception of anything wonderful. I've given you. I'm sorry if I've ever devalued from you or your channel. I apologize, and I sincerely mean it. I hope you find whatever you're looking for. I want.
Or half the size of Praising's moustache. Does it hang left or right?
I'll tell you what I could do with right now is a pair of these. And on an unrelated note, I'm thinking about buying a set of these, personally. I think I need it for some of this analysis that you guys want me to do.
I want everyone, regardless if they like me or not, to do well. Christ didn't say, love people who are nice to you. He just said, love people. If you say stuff online, you're going to get pushback for it if it's, you know, any kind of controversial, but I hope you don't let that deter you in the long run. I hope you can continue to pursue your dreams. I promise I will not try to stand in the way of that, and I hope none of my followers do. But as mentioned, there's some people I can't corral regardless of what I say. But yeah, just I hope you do well, and I'm sorry for all of this happening.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the cruel far-right extremist Wendigoon.
Thank you, Brandon.
All right. Now, let's bring in my friend Oompaville to give a little...
Okay. I need to take a break. I think that's the main thing that I wanted to see anyway.